Stuck in my ways in my Versace shades. I'm Mr. Gas, gutter and saved. Stuck in my ways in my Versace shades. I'm Mr. Gas, gutter and saved. Check. Spiritually, I'm Christ-like. Lyrically, feel like money made on fight night. Me and Meek out slaying duo from Fright Night. Like my dad, I need stone pads when I write. Gas, different pedigree, legibly with a legend. Filled with a spirit, my flow is so heavenly. Respectfully, I'm out of this world, they can't measure me. Christ, Holy Ghost, and I, the perfect recipe. Salt of this world, I'm never bitter. Versace shades, my ways are so scripture. It pays to know God. Our lives are so richer. My vibes like Richard Pryor and Harlem Nights, who's iller. Mike Glove and Thriller.
Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, y'all? We about to get started on TikTok Live. How's everybody doing tonight? Man? Man, we about to get started on TikTok Live, man, because we got some crazy conversations going on right now. We got some crazy conversations going on right now. Now, can y'all hear me? I need to know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. I need to know if y'all can hear me. I need to know if I'm coming through loud and clear. If you can hear me in TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, if y'all can hear me, let me know. Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. We don't want to get started if y'all can't hear me. If you on TikTok right now, can y'all hear me on TikTok? Let me know if y'all can hear me on TikTok. Let me know if y'all can hear me on Facebook. Let me know if y'all can hear me on YouTube. Can y'all hear me clear? Can y'all hear me? I need to know. We can't get started until you know, y'all let me know y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Am I coming through clear on TikTok? What's up, Unc? What's going on with you, Unc? Can you hear me, Unc? Can y'all hear me? Let me know down in the comments if y'all can hear me on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Okay, y'all can hear me? Okay, TikTok can hear me. Now I need to know if can YouTube and Facebook hear me? Can y'all hear me on YouTube and Facebook? Because if y'all can't, you know what I mean, y'all ain't gonna be able to chime in on this discussion. Now I got some people joining this panel tonight, man. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna wait for them to come in, and we're gonna have this discussion. So I sent the request out. Man, how's everybody doing this evening? While I wait for my guests to come in, man, let me know where y'all timing in from. Let me know where y'all tapping in from. Let's I want this live to be interactive. I want this live I want everybody to engage in this live, because there's a lot of discussion going on with, the discussion around being a full-time parent and a man going 50-50, man. These are some hot topics right now in these social media streets. And I believe that we should have a discussion on this, man, because men coming from different perspectives than women, and women coming from different perspectives, with men. And I see I got some people tuned in on YouTube. Can y'all hear me good on YouTube? Let me know if y'all can hear me good on YouTube. Put in the comments section if you're on YouTube, put in the comment section and let me know if y'all can hear me before we get started. Because this is gonna be a dope discussion. So we got YouTube in the building, y'all. We got Facebook in the building, and we got TikTok in the building right now. I think we need to have this discussion, man. I've been called out on my stance on, this whole discussion on women being stay-at-home parents. Even though my wife was was and is, partially, I would say, a stay-at-home parent, I'm not a proponent of stay-at-home parents. I'm all for a woman getting out there to work. Cause I don't mind doing things around the house. I don't mind cooking. I don't mind washing clothes. I don't mind doing any household stuff. So I am a big proponent of women working. I am. And I'm a big proponent of women going 50-50. And we're going to time in on this. We're going to time in on this, man. So as I wait for my guests to come on, I need y'all to, to stay engaged and let me know where y'all tuning in from. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Jump down in them comments and let me know where y'all tuning in from so we can be fully engaged on this topic, man. Because I want other people to come up. I want other people to chime in on this. What do y'all think about, full-time parents, being a full-time parent or either going 50-50? What do y'all think? We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. What do y'all think about going 50-50? What do y'all think about stay-at-home parents? Now, I guess I'm gonna start so then when my guests come in, they're hot right on there. So I'm gonna start with the first one: stay-at-home parents. I'm not a proponent of women being a stay-at-home parent. I'm not a proponent of stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home wives. I think women should be out there working. I think women should be out there working for their own sanity. If you notice the trend of stay-at-home parents, they end up hating being stay-at-home parents. They end up hating taking care of their husbands. They end up hating taking care of their kids. So, I am a proponent of women should be out there working. I posted on TikTok the other day, which caught a lot of traction, and a therapist reached out to me and she wanted to talk to me about what I said, and I said, look, she came on there and was like, well, stay-at-home parent, being a stay-at-home parent was the hardest job she ever had. So I was like, well, okay, you mean to tell me that going to a job, being told when to go on break, when to take a lunch, what to do and how to do is better than being at home taking care of your house. Now, I also said this, right? Now y'all got to rock with me on this. The first 3 years, I understand being a stay-at-home mom is the toughest. The first 3 years is the toughest because the kid is not in kindergarten. Now I'm talking about full-time stay-at-home parents. I'm not talking about women that still got to go do part-time jobs. I'm talking about women who is full-time, a full-time stay-at-home parent. If you are a full-time stay-at-home parent, you said, hold on, let me read this comment before I finish what I was saying. You said most men never do it all, and what woman does for a home for 50-50 split. Well, you can't say most women because most men. You haven't been with most men. You can't say that. And also don't make assumptions or projections that you never been through. I really want to talk to the people who actually lived through it. Now, let me get back to what I was saying. So she was like, being a stay-at-home parent was the hardest thing she had to do. It was harder than working a job. So my thing was, okay, you go to a job, a 9 to 5 that you probably don't like being told what to do, when to go on break, when to go on lunch, and this, that, and third, yada, yada, versus being at the leisure of your own home. Right? The first 3 years is the toughest because the kid is not in school. You got to do everything for the kid when he get up, and all that stuff. But from 3 to 4, that's when they start getting into preschool, kindergarten, all that stuff. And then on up, they're in grade school, middle school, high school. So while the kids are in school, if you are a full-time stay-at-home parent, what are you doing in between them 8 hours the kid is in school? How are you managing your time? And that's the $1 million question nobody seemed to want to answer. When the kids are in school and you are, because they're not going to be small forever. You got that for the first 3 years. They're going to be small. They're going to demand your attention. I'm not saying that it's easy, but that's for the first 3 years. After that, when you are a full-time stay-at-home parent, what are you doing in between those? What are you doing in between those hours, the 8 hours your kids are in school? And that's the question that I'm asking a lot of sisters, that they just jumping over and they don't want to answer. I don't know why they don't want to answer it, because it's a basic fundamental question. The kid is in school 8 hours out of the day. You go get them, from that 8 hours, you can, if you have the privilege to be a stay-at-home mom, full-time. I'm talking full-time. In between that 8 hours, what are you doing? Now, I put out some things that a lot of women got mad about me saying. I said, well, the house don't have to be tippy-toppy shape every day. Now, I know a lot of women put in their mind that the house got to be totally clean every day. And what I say is, if you own that house, right? If you own that house, why does it have to be tippy-toppy clean every day? Why does it have to be spick and clean every day if you living in a house you own? You got the rest of your life to do what you have to do in that house. If you doing laundry, if you got 5 loads of laundry to do, right? You could portion doing the laundry out during the course of the week. Really, the wash machine and the dryer does all the work. It takes you 5 minutes to load the laundry up, and it takes you 5 minutes to unload the laundry and put it in the dryer. That's 10 minutes. Let's say you're going to wash the dishes. Okay, it shouldn't take you no more than a half an hour to wash dishes. If you're going to mop the floor, do cabinets, you can portion that out during the day. Let's say you say, okay, I'm going to take 2 hours to do a deep clean today, right? You take them 2 hours and do a deep clean of your kitchen and your house, your living room, whatever, and you're done. Versus going to a 9 to 5 that you hate, being told what to do, being told when to go to lunch, being told when to go on break. If you at home and you're a stay full-time, I'm talking about full-time stay-at-home parents. You can portion out your day the way you want to if you're able to manage your time. I'm not saying, I'm not saying being a stay-at-home parent is easy. I am not saying it's easy. What I'm saying is, in the first 3 years, I understand it's going to be hard because you got small children. But once they start going to school, that's when we're going to see your true character. And that's the part, unfortunately, a lot of sisters don't want to talk about. Okay, now we got exclusive lady. The first year the kids are in school, the kids are only there half a day. That's not my kid, not my kids. My kids, my kids was going to school full time from kindergarten on to the time they graduated high school. So I guess it depends on where you at. But even if they go to school even if they go to school half the day, okay, that's 4 hours, because the average school hours is 8 hours. That's 4 hours. You still have 4 hours to do what you got to do. Okay, you say help them with homework. Okay, by the time they get home, by the time they get home and you got to help them with homework, you can help them with the homework, cook dinner, and go on about your day. You see what I'm saying? He said, depends on where you live. Yeah, it depends on where you live. And most people live in metro cities, And then also, think about this, right? I said, depends on where you live. And also, think about this, right? You said we are doing projections. No, we're not doing projections. We're not doing. Most kids go from kindergarten to up to 12th grade, go to school 8 hours. See, that's what I'm saying. They do. You see how they are deflecting? That's what I'm saying. Instead of addressing what I'm saying, let's keep it real. We got to keep it real right here. We got to tell the truth, shame the devil. Let's not make let's not take this stuff in other places. Okay, let's say in the first year of school, let's go with that. The first year of school, they do half day. Okay, what about the next year? What about the next year on? What are you doing with the time as a stay-at-home parent? Just think about it. What are you doing at home as a stay-at-home parent? I I'm I am curious to know because statistics show more people divorce as stay-at-home parents than working parents. The sisters that's at home is divorcing their husbands because now a lot of women who are stay-at-home parents, they feel like they lost their identity in raising kids, they lost their identity in the house, and now that they don't want to be stay-at-home parents, they end up, the one sisters. I got the video of a counselor talking about this. What is that person saying? Block that person. If my mind's in here, block that person, John Marshall. I don't know what that person is saying. You said I told you didn't address my answer. Okay, what was your answer? Let's go back. You said I'm not reflecting. You're not deflecting. So all right, okay. Um, Miss Johnson, if you want to come up in the box and explain your position, you're more than welcome to come up in the box and explain your position. I'm not a woman. I'm not a woman, so I'm not going to speak from a woman's perspective. I can only speak from a man's perspective. How you doing, my dear sister?
Hi, brother. How are you? How are you? Can you hear
Oh,
me?
you know what? Hold on just a second. We can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you coming through the speakers. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Something
Say something.
still can't. Hold on. We can't.
You
I
can't.
can't hear you. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that
Okay.
better?
Yup, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay, brother. You know what? I have always asked that same question, and I hope the sisters do come up and answer it. I'm old school. Okay. I want to put that out there first. I just turned 66 years old, January 26th. And if these women are going to stay at home and be a full time housekeeper, I feel like if they're not going to homeschool their children, which I would suggest that to be first.
Why
Yeah,
y'all
being wait a minute, I'm get ready to elaborate on that. Uh, actually, well, I was raised to be a housekeeper, but these modern day women they want to go to school too. So if they want to go to school after they get their child to school, if they want to go to school part time, then you do that part time. But your husband and your children, your family is always first, even before your schooling. But if you just want to have some type of social life and just go to school part time, but you better be home by the time them children get home so you can continue to raise your children, be there for your husband or whatever it is you need to do. But you remember that husband comes first, then them children. And women, we always put ourselves last. There's nothing's wrong with that because we're trying to raise a nuclear family. And that's what I think what needs to be done. You understand what I'm saying? Because
now?
let the man do
I
his
wouldn't
job.
say I wouldn't call it housekeeper. I would call it more so a homemaker. Now
Well, homemaker,
the reason why I say homemaker,
housekeeper, same thing.
the reason why I say homemaker is because housekeepers sound a slave thing. Now this is my position on
Oh,
this. My position on this, we are a team. This is our house. We bought
yes,
this house to
yes.
for our to raise our family. If you are a homemaker and I am to be the provider, I'm supposed to bring home the finances and this, that, and the third, and your job is to be the homemaker. That means we have a method going on here. It's not
That's
for you
right.
to be a slave. It's not for you. No, if this is your role, then play your role. If my role is to be the be the provider, I got to play that
The
role.
breadwinner,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's
And
why I say I'm although I'm for it, but I think women should
well,
have.
well,
I think
well, brother, I Well, I agree with you 100% because the Most High designed us to be your helpmate. Okay? As long as you two are on the same page, let that man be a man and let him go on and provide for the house. He's going to be proud of you to come home to a clean house and respectable children because you're raising his seed to be the type of men and women that you want to produce to say, don't mess up my family name.
Hmm.
Okay, that's how it was back in the day. Respect the family name, don't embarrass the family name.
Hmm.
Okay, and that's her job to bring forth that culture that you and her have already talked about before you even started having children,
Hmm.
you know. But I do know the modern day women, okay, want to have, I mean, that type of life get boring to them. It didn't get boring to us, the older generation, but
Hmm.
it gets boring to them. So that's the reason why I said if they want to go out and go to school, like say if the child is in school by 9, if you
Hmm.
want to go to school from 9 to 12 o'clock or 9 to 1, okay, if that's what you want to do, go on and go to school because men do like smart women also.
Hmm.
Okay, and then you come home at 1 o'clock, get the dinner cooked, the house clean, whatever you got to do before the husband and the children get home.
Hmm.
And therefore, you get your social life too. And therefore, everybody's happy, even her. And then, if something does happen, she do have a little skill in case something do happen. I've learned some skills to do something just in case you may need me financially down the road. And
Exactly.
that's the type of thinking that a marriage with a family
I think
should be doing today.
and that discussion should come out in the courting process. In the courting
Yes,
process,
exactly.
if a woman now, but you know the crazy thing, a lot of women want to be homemakers in the beginning. They don't want to work until they start having kids. Now, I wanted to say this earlier. The average American, according to statistics, have 2 kids. Okay, so I understand raising 2 small kids the first 3 years is going to be tough. But once they go to school, that's when you can start figuring out what you need to do with your life. That's why
That's right.
but the problem is, like I saw a therapist say today. She said that a lot of women lose their identity in the house and raising the kids, and then when they get to a certain age, that's when they and then once you start getting older for women, your what they say, your hormones start to change and stuff like that. And she said a lot of women start to confuse her hating her husband, or husband ain't this or husband ain't that, with just the fact that her hormones are changing and she just need to grow and try to figure out and balance out her hormones before she becomes destructive. And that's why we're seeing a lot of divorces happen, because a lot of sisters is making the husbands out to be enemies when in all actuality her hormones change. She don't really she's trying to figure out who she is. She don't raise kids, and now she don't know what she want to do. So uh, um she make a very tough decision by divorcing, and now she's in a predicament she's in. Now I'm not saying this happens to all women. I'm not saying that happens to all women. I'm just making what this therapist lady said about the women that come across her, that come to her
But
office.
that's today's women. See, because if you are totally satisfied with your husband
Mm-hmm.
and you love your children, because if I had young children today,
Mm-hmm.
I would want to homeschool them because of the way schools are doing today. I mean, you know what they got in the schools today with the same people teaching your
Yeah.
children
Yep.
and all that. You just never know who you're putting your children in the hands of for 8 hours out the day. So rather, if a woman really loves her child and you don't know these people, I think homeschooling is the best thing that a woman could do. A real woman that love her children, love
Mm-hmm.
her husband, and want to bring forth a righteous seed, she would
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Oh, the hell with a job. This is my job right here."
And I think
That is the main investment you can have today is your children. because it's too much out there for them to get into.
absolutely. And unfortunately, we're living in a time where um a lot of sisters is getting pregnant young. They get pregnant young, and what happens is they feel like they lost out on their youth. They feel like they lost out on their golden years because they had kids young, and now they want to relive it. And it's one of those things, man. It's a this is this is very tough to talk about, mainly because I'm not a woman, and
Well, see,
I only can assume. I mean, not as well. I only can imagine how tough it is in them circumstances when raising. But like I said, 8 hours out of the day, your kids are in school. So now, what are you doing productive with your time?
like I said, other than cooking and cleaning and doing wifely duties that you are supposed to do,
Hmm.
you know, maybe she can just go to school for them 3 4 hours, because believe me, uh, running a house is a full-time job on its own.
Absolutely.
Because one, yeah, because once the kids get out of school, you gotta help them with their homework. You've probably been cooking and cleaning and doing that after you get out of school at 1 o'clock. So you got to get them together, and then you still have to be there for your husband.
Hmm.
You know, wonder if he want to have sex tonight. I have to have energy and have taken care of myself, freshen myself up for him also.
Hmm. Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? and
Absolutely.
and 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 if you have the beautiful loving husband that knows that you're handling your job to perfection, he's handling his job to perfection, making sure that the lights and don't get cut off, and the food, and we ain't gotta have no brand new car, just a dependable car to drive around in. Man, that's nuclear right there.
Yeah.
But see, these women today want Gucci bags, and I want to drive a Mercedes Benz, and all these things are important to the modern woman today. Where, like I said, your children is the best investment you could ever make.
Hmm. Exclusive lady said
You
being a
know,
mom is a full time job. A man can't put himself in that position. There's dads are full time dads too. If just because a dad see this the thing this what blows my mind about that type of statement. So if a man is ain't working and he's at the house all day doing nothing, playing video game, he there for the kid. But if he at the house playing video game, he's still a Pookie or Ray Ray. But then when he go out and gotta work, you know, 10, 12, 15 hours, he's still not that good of a dad. That's what I'm saying. A lot of us men can't win. We can't win. You see what I'm saying?
no,
You don't want a man. You
Hello.
don't want a man at the house playing
a
video
man,
games, but he's in the kid's life. He go pick up the kids from school, but he's back on the video game. He might cook dinner, but he's back on the video
no,
game, and you don't like that.
no.
He's still a pookie. But you get a man that
That's right.
still go out here and go provide and do what he got to do, and then he's still frowned upon. That's what I'm saying.
No,
He can't. A man can't win, and it's
no,
unfortunate.
ain't no man supposed to be sitting home all day long on his butt, not working. A man is supposed to work and provide and take care of his family. That's what men do. A woman is supposed to be the homemaker or homekeeper or whatever, and she's the first teacher of the children. That's
Yes.
her role. Okay? And if anything comes up out other than that, it's unbalanced. If a man wants to sit at home and play video games all day, that's not a man. That is still a boy.
Exactly.
He haven't
So,
matured into his
He cleaning
manhood
up.
yet.
What's up, Lynn?
can I
Hold
say
on. Let me say this,
something?
and I'm gonna let you go, Miss Lynn. She said, "I'm emotionally. A man is. Let me tell you something. A man is never going to understand a woman's emotions. Women hardly understand a woman's emotions because y'all know that y'all go through, different cycles every month, and your emotions change like the weather. You know that about yourself. So if you can't put the expectations on a man to understand your emotions. Now, what a man can understand is what you tell him. If you tell me you like something a certain way, I should be able to do that for you. I don't want to understand a woman's emotion. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. The main reason why, because it's gonna be too much to keep up with. But you could tell me one thing at a time, and we can work it out. We can work it out accordingly. I don't, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of trying to figure you out because I'm not a psychic. I'm not Miss Cleo, and I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not trying to be a mind reader. You know, I tell
You
Mhm.
know
and I
what
tell the.
you
Go ahead, sister.
think women? You know what I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna land. You know what I think women want?
What's that?
Once the man comes home from work and she done did what she wanted to do during the day, I did what did her job during the day, and that man that did his job during the day, and long if he got like a silly sense of humor where y'all can laugh and
Oh
talk,
yeah,
you know. You understand what I'm saying? The rest of the
yes,
afternoon, you're actually making love while you're on your feet, just laughing
yeah,
and talking about the day and something like that. On the weekend, hey babe, I'm gonna take you out to dinner. Let's drop the children off at grandma's house or whatever, and we just got the night together, and that's where that community comes in. You understand what I'm saying? To be helpful to you, all that helps. And that's what we need to get back to. Okay, mom and dad just need a break from the kids for the
yeah,
weekend. Let's drop them off at grandma's house. And it's just me and you, babe. And y'all laugh and talk. And y'all need y'all's me time too. That keeps everything strong and everything mutual. Everybody has a job to do, even down to the children.
yes.
You
And
understand
you
what I'm
want to know why?
saying?
You know what's crazy? I said this too to the lady. I said, look, my kids had children since they was daggone as big as 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years old. Yes, we went after clean after them sometimes, but in their rooms, they toys all over the place. No, you go put that toy up. I told my all my kids now they all adults now, and they every last one of them are self sufficient because since a young age, I told my wife, no, we gonna these kids is gonna daggone they gonna grow up with
That's
work
right.
habits all in the house, and I
That's
think that's
right.
what's wrong with a
That's
lot of these
correct.
these young adults now. They don't have a sense of urgency because their parents coddled them. But go ahead.
Exactly. Because
That's another topic for another day though.
yeah, yeah. Because when the children in my house, if they were toddlers, 3, 4 years old, we sung the cleanup song, clean up,
Yep.
everybody clean up, and they will put their toys up. You start right there, and then we go from there to the bedrooms,
Yep.
and you give them chores according to their age,
Yep.
and everybody has something to do. I
Everybody.
land.
Go, go
Mhm.
ahead, Sister Lynn.
Okay. Hello. Thank you. Hey, Miss Joetta. Every time I see Miss Joetta on a panel, she is always dropping them golden nuggets.
I
Um,
see.
and she is cut from the same cloth as my mom. My mom is a baby boomer. I don't know if Miss Joetta is a baby boom. It's a baby boomer. Um,
I'm a baby boomer.
okay. See, this is why I'm 33 with no kids, waiting to get married to have these babies.
There you go.
I am talking to a young man right now. We're in a courting stage and we are talking about certain things. And he wants to be a traveling phlebotomist. I'm in school right now to become a traveling registered medical assistant. And as Miss Joetta said, in this day and time, I will homeschool. Yes, I will homeschool for specific reasons. One, because being a traveling phlebotomist, being a traveling medical assistant, we could switch off when it comes to when we start having kids, switch off on mommy daddy time if we're doing homeschooling in our little what's that called? A little travel van.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we're traveling and we're teaching our kids about the United States.
Mm.
We're even taking them outside of the United States and teaching them about other places, some that we weren't taught in school. Because as an adult, when I hear a lot of adults saying, I don't know about Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'm like, huh?
Mm.
You don't know about who?
You don't know about Tulsa, Black Wall Street? What?
You don't know about what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And I'm
okay,
glad.
okay. What do you
And
know? Because
I'm
I'm
glad you said
confused.
that because now would you want to be a stay-at-home parent if it if the opportunity presented itself where you know uh your husband, your future husband, is going to do say, listen, I'm gonna go do what I got to do, and you raise the kids. Do you think you have? Because I think this the $1 million question. Do you think you have what it takes to be a stay-at-home parent?
I believe in my heart I have what it takes to be a stay-at-home parent. However, I'm gonna say this: with everything that's going on in society, we need a two-income household.
I agree.
So that way, when he falls short, I can pick up the rear.
Mm,
And I don't have a problem with picking up the rear.
that
I
is a
told
fact.
him I'm on this bus until the wheels fall off, sir.
Oh,
You got
you
this.
getting ahead of our conversation, because if you see, that's the second half of our topic is going 50-50. That's we you
And
getting
I
a
don't
little ahead
and
of
it's
that.
nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with going 50-50 because women expect these men to have 100 and it'll come into a relationship 100%. But baby, you're only presenting 20. You
Mm,
can't expect 100 when you only have 20.
mm,
Okay, if you want
mm,
to have 100, if you want 100 man, you should have 100. But you have to
mm,
understand, in a marriage, it's not always going to be 100 and 100. Some days you may be that 80. Some days he may be that 20, 90, 40. However you want to do the math,
mm-hmm.
you're not going to always be 100. You're
I
not.
agree with that.
You're going to have your highs and your lows. It's how you communicate with your partner.
Mm,
Communication is key, and
yes.
taking accountability for your actions in your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and not saying, well, he didn't appreciate the way I did this. Well, what did you do? What did you
Mm,
do? Are you talking about me, I, or are you talking about we?
mm.
Because once you say I do under God and whomever else you believe in, it's a we. You become a union.
You
There's an
become a
iron
unit,
fence.
and I think that's where society lost. Everybody is selfish. Everybody
Yes,
is
everybody.
worrying about everybody's worrying about what other people got going on, and they not focused on what they can bring. And I
And
always
when I
tell
say
people,
this
like,
type of
I'm a
stuff,
husband, right?
mhm.
Even if I wasn't married, but I'm a husband by nature. I'm not a
And I
boyfriend.
am a wife
You know what I
by
mean? So
nature.
yeah, so like I'm gonna make sure I come equipped as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm moving, that's how I'm operating, that's how I think.
Yes.
So I'm always
That's right.
thinking unit wise. I'm always thinking
Yes.
for the team. I'm not thinking for
Yes.
myself. I'm thinking what's going to better us as a unit, because as we grow and get older together, our kids is going to get older, they're going to leave, and then it's just going to be me and you.
Mm-hmm. That is
And
correct. That is so
That's
correct. And that's the thing that is a downfall in this generation because they love the feels of getting engaged and having this lavish wedding.
mm-hmm.
But when it boils down to the marriage, y'all been married for 3 years and already having issues over small stuff. Well, he ain't take out the trash. He didn't fill
that.
up my tank. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Girl, if you don't sit down and sit your simple-minded self down,
You sound
if he
you
didn't take
you
the
do
trash
sound like a
out,
baby boomer.
if he don't, if he, it's not his. Even though we say it's the man's job to take out the, or some women, I'm not gonna say we because that ain't me. If it's some women say he needs to take out the trash, my hands ain't broken. He been on his
But you know
feet
what? I
all
hear
day.
you on that, but I won't let my wife. There's certain things I just won't let my wife do.
That's something you won't do.
Yeah,
My partner feels the same way, but I feel like if I see it, I'm gonna just take it out. It's
yeah.
it's it's.
That's right.
I'm not gonna be stressed
Make
out
a.
because he didn't take out the trash.
That's right.
I'm gonna be the only thing I'm gonna be mad about is whoever ate the last cupcake. That's it. I'm like, who? You eat my last cupcake, you having a fight.
She said, "Who ate the last cupcake?" What's up?
That's
What's up,
right.
Brooke?
Oh,
Got my brother in the building,
What's
man. We've
going
been
on
trying
with
to
you,
get on
man?
this topic for a minute.
I mean, the haven't seen all of the generations. You know, from my grandparents who were married till death, my parents who were married to death, and having been married more than once myself. It's very clear that the problem with this generation is a lack of commitment to anything other than self.
Right.
Like it's not that we're a me generation. It's that society has been set in a pattern of comparison. So if you think about it, nobody wakes up and pursues their passion anymore. Most people wake up and pursue income.
Mm.
Most people wake up and pursue an ideal of success that is being dictated by society. It's like when you think about brands like Louis Vuitton and all the other stuff and the culture of society, we're buying what we're told is special, what we're told is important. It's kind of like when you think about how most young boys decide who they're attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever the culture is dictating as being the ideal of beauty. So if you think about really the last 20 years with the extreme influx of interracial relationships and everything like that, what do you see as the personification of a marriage over the last decade? You got Kim and Kanye. And like all of these unions that we're seeing, everything is for TV now. Everything is for content. So people don't look at the union for what it is. So it's like for me, I'm an OG in the marriage game. When the young men talk to me about getting married and settling down and everything like that, I I don't ask them why they want to get married. I ask them what their plan for marriage is.
Mm.
Because most of these young people are talking about a wedding. And when they talk about a wedding, I'm like, that's an event.
That's right. That's
That's it.
right.
You
That's
hit
it.
it right
That's
on it. You hit it
that's
right
an
But
on
event.
the
but
head. You hit
but
it
do
right
you
on
know
the
what?
head because I was just talking. Sorry, Mr. Whatever, real quick. I was just talking to my the person that we're courting, and he was like, I would rather just go to the courthouse and elope because really, who do we really like in our family, or that's relative. That's your happy day. I'm not gonna spend my happy day looking at miserable people, you know, in
It's
five
And how
years,
you feel about
maybe
that?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
That's
that.
great.
My daddy is not here. My big brother isn't here. All I need is my mama. Since my
Mm.
dad has passed away 7 years ago, it's been me and my mama.
Mm.
God has brought me through a tumor. I have a disability. I still am pursuing my education.
Come on.
And then God put this man in front of me. Because it says in the Bible, he that findeth a good wife. And just so
Yep.
happened, I happen to find
And there's a
him on
promise
Tinder.
attached to that. It says,
It
the
is.
man that finds a wife finds a good thing, then obtain favor with the Lord.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen. Amen. And I am supposed to bring that man. I am supposed to
And
bring that man
she's
peace. No, he
that's
already has
right.
peace. I'm supposed to add to his peace. I'm not supposed to bring him peace because you're
And
supposed to have
she's
peace within yourself. I am supposed to add to his
right.
peace. They say women can't protect in a marriage, but we do protect. How do
you
we
protect
protect?
peace.
Because we pray over you before you
Yes.
That's
leave the house.
right.
We pray over you at night. We pray over our kids. We do
That's
everything in our
right.
power as the wife to pray over you because we know that you're going to have a stressful day, or you may not
Yes.
have a stressful day, but you have that covering of the from the wife from praying
Yes.
over you. That's
Just
where
You
we
are
have
a
to
just
wi-
laugh at.
you are a wise young
just
lady.
I am
yes,
a
just by
Proverbs
being
30. I
yeah,
am a
just by
Proverbs
being
31 woman.
there
Proverbs
you go.
31.
Just by being a melanated man going out in the world, you got to face that world just being a melanated man. And if a woman can't understand that, something's wrong
And the
because the
thing,
best the best marriage is a non-selfish marriage. When I get up in the
Mhm.
morning, I think about what's going to make my husband's day go great. When he gets up
Mhm.
in the morning, he's going to think about what's going to make my wife's day great. He thinks
Mhm.
about me, I think about him. If you're selfish and if it's just me, I, a selfish marriage don't is
Now,
not going to last
think
long.
about
And
this,
it's
right?
not going to work
I want
because
if I want
it,
the
And
women.
let me tell you, let me tell you something else. This is just how old school I am, and I'm glad that she mentioned it. She just didn't take it as far as I went. See, because I don't ask the YT man, can I marry this man and go downtown and get a marriage license?
Mm.
I actually jumped the broom.
what you mean, like
I
a physical broom?
I jumped the physical broom. Me and my husband.
Oh, I
I said
only got
we.
one good ankle. I have a disability. I got one good ankle. I'm not jumping nowhere.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
step
Well,
over it.
I'm just telling you what I did. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
just making
It
a joke.
his
I
Hey,
understand.
real quick,
right.
I don't want to
Yeah.
cut y'all off. I want to cut y'all off real quick, but one of my moms on here, Mo. Today is her birthday. Let's wish Mo a happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
Happy
Mo.
birthday, Mo. Happy birthday, Hey, inbox me your
birthday.
cash app. I'm gonna bless you with something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my birthday was yesterday on the
Oh,
26th.
happy
Oh,
belated
happy
birthday.
Happy
birthday.
belated.
Thank
My
And
you.
son's birthday
but the
was
thing
yesterday.
about it,
Dang, everybody's birthday was it.
well, mine
Hmm.
isn't until May 29th, so we got a long way to go.
I
But
want to
anywho,
say
when we
this
talk
before we
about,
Ooh,
get further in the
Gemini. That's my
conversation.
child's
And
birthday.
you
ooh,
said today is your
I got
son's
a
birthday?
twin.
My son's
May
birthday is
29th.
May 29th.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gemini.
I have a twin. I have a twin brother.
oh wow.
Mm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So
Just
I
so
wanted to
happened
say
we happened
this
to go down
right
the wrong
before we get further in the
path.
conversation. I don't think that a lot of sisters understand some of the stuff men go through when he is a provider. They only think about the money aspect of him cashing a check, but he never think about he go to a job that he hate, but he have to take care of his family because he know he can't quit.
That's
And
right. That's
then when he
right.
come home, he has the weight. He still he have the weight of that job on his shoulder. You want to know why? And he don't. And oftentimes men don't talk about this to women because we know that tomorrow we gotta go do the same thing all over again. Then
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, the
And
day after that, we gotta go do the same
But
thing
it's
all over again.
those. But it's
And
those. That's what separates us. Not mean to cut you off, host, but that's what separates the girls from the women,
mhm,
because we know as women when we pray over that man, it could be 1,000 um of demons trying to get at him, but by me praying over my husband before he leaves the house, he has the armor of God on
come
him.
on, come on,
So
that's right.
can't nothing penetrate that armor. You could try,
That's
but
right.
can't nothing penetrate. Okay? Proverbs 5 verses 3 through 8. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your
lean
own
not on your own
understanding. In all your
understanding.
ways, acknowledge him, and he will
Yep.
direct your path.
Come
That's
on,
right.
You
come on.
know? And who was tested most of all in the Bible? Job. Come on now. You gotta have trust. Job was tested so many times,
Yep,
but yet he still trusted. He still trusted.
yep.
We have to
Mm-hmm.
trust in
And
our
he
man.
lost
We have to
everything.
trust
If
in.
you
And
had
Job lost everything.
if you
But
had
most of
to
all,
speak to
when we are in a marriage, most of all when women are in a marriage, they forget that their husbands are human. Not only are they the provider, leaders, and protectors, but they want to be seen. They want
mm,
to be heard. They want to be
Yes.
loved on. They
come
And
on,
don't
most
just
on
want to be, oh well, you didn't brought home the check. Look,
and
I'm saying this from what I saw growing up. My dad, my mom and dad were so in sync that when he got paid on Friday, bills were paid before my dad got home. He knew what my mom was cooking when he hit the front door.
come on.
and
Wow.
He
most of
didn't. My
all,
dad didn't need for nothing, so that was great example for me to watch as a
Mm,
that's
young woman.
right.
So that way I know, am I going to have the same marriage as my mom and dad? No, because this man that I am prayerfully will be my husband. We are going to grow together.
That's right.
We are going to grow together, and we're because when you put God in your relationship, when
It's a done deal.
you can't have a great marriage if you don't put God in it.
There
mm,
you go. There you
Because
go.
without God, you cannot have a great marriage. Because then
You said a
you have
mouthful.
turmoil. You
mm.
have the me me's and I's. And when I look at people talking about, well, I need Louis Vuitton this and all this other
No, you
crap.
don't.
Look at
You
the
don't need
biggest
that
billionaires,
mess.
Steve Jobs and all them other people. They don't have on Louis Vuitton and them stupid looking chains. Steve
That's
Jobs said,
right.
Steve Jobs literally said, I will shop at Walmart. He said he
He
shops
did.
at
He did.
Walmart.
He did say that. But let me do a quick break real
Girl.
quick. Hey, y'all tuned into the
Okay.
Gutter and Saint podcast. We live on Facebook, we live on YouTube, and we live on TikTok. Shout out to all the people that's watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. If y'all want to chime in on this in the conversation, you already know what to do. You can request. You can get down in the comment section. All those who are in TikTok land, if you want to come and add to the conversation, whether you agree or disagree with the conversation, you already know you can hop up in the box and y'all can Y'all can talk. This is not a one-way conversation. This is a discussion around amongst people who just want to talk and just have, like we would do if we was in the comforts of our friends. We just having a conversation. Yep, the link is in the bio. The link is in the bio if you want to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a decent following over there. That's what my large community at. Um, but I figured that I bring the discussion here on TikTok to YouTube. The YouTube people can see all you guys on TikTok, but y'all can't see them. But I figure I bring this live because a couple people wanted to have this discussion on staying home parenting and the difficulties in being a stay at home parent. And like I was telling the lady yesterday, I understand that being a stay at home parent could be difficult, but everything in life is difficult. But working a job is difficult. Being a stay at home parent is difficult. Everything in life is difficult. You have to choose your difficulty. I would rather, if it was in my capacity to do it, shoot, I would rather be home raising the kids
Well, I would like
because I can
I would have
control
to
that.
disagree with you on that one. I'm gonna say it this way, because people say being a stay at home parent is difficult, but it's only as difficult as you make it.
That's
How are
true.
you looking at it? Because to me, I see being a stay at home mom is an honor, because
It's beautiful.
I am nurturing people that I brought into this world that I carried
That's
for
right.
9 months.
That's
People
right.
that look to me for every little thing. Even though I ain't gonna be able to have my snacks to myself after I had them little crumb snatchers.
She love them
Um
snacks.
I do love my
Yeah,
snacks.
she love her
But
snacks.
it's an honor to have that. My mom
That's
didn't have to
right.
go to work. My dad would always say, "You ain't gotta go to work." But my mom was like, "If something happened, I got your back. I
That's
got your
right.
back." And being a traveling whatever we want to be,
Helpmate.
we have exactly a helpmate. We had the opportunity to make up our own schedules, so that way we know we want a weekend off to show our kids this and take a date for this. And people think that your date life is over after you have kids. No, you
No,
take
it's
them with
not.
you. You can
That's
take them
right.
with you and still have a date night.
Hmm.
It may not be the sexy time one, but it
Hmm.
still could be a date night.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You just have to choose which one you want to do.
So
It's a
could it be?
balance.
Could this be more of a cultural thing? Because I'm noticing
No, I
the
think it's
people.
not cultural. It's a lazy people thing.
Mm.
People don't want to hold themselves accountable.
No,
Now the
They're
because
reason why I
afraid of
say this
that
could
word
be a
accountable.
cultural thing, I read a book called. There's a book. Well, it's an older book, but it's called "They Were Her Property," right? And the
I've heard
book
of that book.
is. Oh, you heard of it? It's a really good book.
I heard.
So it's a non-black woman who wanted to become a slave master because she
Oh,
got tired of her husband being having all the power over the slaves. So
uh,
she actually became a slave master and grew very big very fast. And she dealt harshly with the slaves more than the actual man dealt harshly with
I
yes, I
mean, I
heard that.
watched the
The
documentary
YT
on
woman
YouTube about
is
that
worse. Yes, she's
situation, and I was
worse.
like, I could. It was a 2 hour long documentary, but only got to 15 minutes because I could only handle 15 minutes. I'm like,
Right.
the yeah. I got
I
if you go
Yeah.
really
if you're interested, I got the books.
I'm really not. After watching that 15
Now I'm gonna
minutes
say
part,
this.
I can't.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this. The reason I got the book off of Audible. You can go to if anybody interested, you go to Audible and
I got a Kindle.
um oh with the Kindle. Yeah, you can get it
Yeah.
off of Audible or Kindle. The main reason why I say it's worth the either if you listen to Audible or read it, mainly because you will understand why because that actually played a part in where we at now with feminists and a lot of the gender wars that's going on between black men and black women. A lot of this stuff is not even our fight. It it's non-black people fight but unfortunately, our sisters want to engage in it, and then that's when they talk about
Yes.
patriarchy. I say
They
I'm
need
always
to leave
asking
that
like,
crap alone.
yeah, like when did black men ever become a part of patriarchy? And then they say
Hmm.
just because you're a man, you benefit off patriarchy. And I'm like, that's like the dumbest thing you can ever. Like, when did black men ever? When did black men ever get the benefit to do anything in this country? In this country, right out of
That's
Exactly.
segregation,
right.
right out of segregation, we couldn't get jobs. They put the drugs and the drugs and the
In
guns in
the
the community. Then
neighborhood.
right after that, they
Yep.
privatized prisons where they locked your brothers up
Right.
just for walking, just for existing. And
Mm-hmm.
and yet then
Yes.
and then
Yes.
they got the nerve to say we was a part of the patriarchy. And I'm like, and then
We
that's how you
weren't.
could
We were
tell.
never
That's
a
why I
part
say
of
if
the
you
future.
it's beneficial to read that book because you'll have a clear
Okay.
understanding. Like, wow, why are these women? I always tell sisters to read
Well,
that
I
book. They were her property because
well,
say that again.
I've always said that the YT supremacies group, it was a plan, a master plan against us, and they have executed it perfectly. And
Hmm.
this is where we are today. They have executed it
They are
perfectly.
okay with taking the bait, and they forgot back during slavery that the lighter skinned people were put in the house,
Right.
the darker skinned
Mm-hmm.
people stayed out. So there you have
And turn
colorism.
them against yeah, and turn them against each other. They
Hmm.
Exactly.
executed their plan perfectly. And now the last trump, since we was talking about cards earlier, their last trump was to play the woman against the man. They used
Yep.
that as their last trump, and it's
And
working.
And it's
that's exactly what we're seeing right now amongst the black community. That's why I wanted to have this discussion because now you got sisters saying that the black man ain't capable to uh to um to run a household, and I'm like, well, you still having kids by him, uh,
ain't you?
That's right.
like you feel like he's not capable of running a household, but yet you still laying down with him, and
Exactly.
you got 4 or 5
Yep.
baby daddies.
Like
So
you can't,
And that's
and people don't
pitiful.
understand. People and I think it's the because they get the Christian aspect wrong, 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 wrong. Because when I say I'm Christian, I say I have a relationship with the Lord.
mhm.
I don't go to church because I'm not with that
Thank you.
hoopla. I'm not
I'm
all
not
with the
either.
hoopla. I said, look, because the last time I went to church was my grandmother's funeral. The time before
Right.
that was I went with I forget who I went with, and they put this collection plate around. I think about 5 times. I said, y'all passed this around 6 times. Y'all gonna come up sticky short. I'm telling you.
Mm.
I'm an adult
Yeah,
now.
the,
I gotta pay bills.
Now
So I was
y'all
like,
know.
I'm gonna be
yeah,
cool.
the
I'm gonna
churches,
go
the
find me
churches
something.
of
Now
the,
y'all
the
I'm gonna
know.
go
churches
find
of
me
Y'all
faith.
something
know I'm a
cool.
preacher now, so I'm gonna tell you to go to
I know
church.
you're a preacher. I
I'm
know you're a
gonna tell you
Uh,
to
preacher.
go to church.
oh no,
Now
I didn't
see,
know you was
to
I didn't know
me,
you was a preacher. But these
to
churches out
me,
here
I
are
don't.
fake to
I have a
me.
personal reason why I don't want to step foot in another church
Now
house.
let me say real quick. Before hold that thought. Let me say this real quick. I do talk about the L's and a lot of the shortcomings of the church. Now, but we also got to understand, all churches is not the same. Just
Hmm.
because you've been to one church or maybe two churches that that may be out of line, that doesn't mean you should stop going to church. You should pray and
Okay.
ask the Lord to guide you to the right church and right to the right leadership because being under the right leadership is important. And that because
Okay.
you got to understand this. You need a man of God to be able to articulate, and direct you in the ways of the Scripture.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of people that they say they have a relationship with God but don't know the voice of Christ. And the Lord
Hmm.
said this. He said, "Only my sheep hear His voice." And how can you hear His voice properly if you don't understand how to hear His voice? If you're not under the proper leadership, then you wouldn't know how to hear His voice. You just have a religious
Hmm.
connection to Christianity.
Correct.
So when I tell
So
people,
I'm not a Christian. I'm gonna put that out there right
now
now.
here's the crazy thing. I tell people I'm not a Christian either. I have identity. My identity in Christ. I
Hmm.
identify with Christ. Mind, will, emotion, devotion to God, and obeying God and loving my neighbor. And what does that look like?
There you go.
Being led by the Holy Spirit. I stay in them scriptures. Stay in them scriptures.
Mhm.
That
And I
yes, me too. Me
I
too.
continue to pray, and I continue to study the life of Christ because I want to be Christ like mind, will, emotion, devotion to God. So
Mhm.
that's what I give to people. I give people identity in Christ. I'm not giving them Christianity. I'm not going I'm not going to tell you what church to go to, because you never know. You might be the person to go to that particular church to set it right. You don't know, because if God is operating through you, you got to remember all the prophets in the Bible had a tough word and had to correct the people of God. They didn't run from the
Mhm.
people of God like a lot of people doing today. They say I ain't going to church, but then you're not doing what the script you running, and that's what Jonah did and
Mhm.
found
Well,
himself in the mouth of a whale. But
yes,
Because he was
but
supposed to go.
don't the
He was
scripture
supposed to go to what was
to
it,
Nineveh,
Tarshish,
to
to
Nineveh. He was supposed to
Nineveh,
go to
and he went to
Nineveh.
Nineveh, yeah,
Tarshish.
yeah,
Right. Oh,
yeah.
He said, "I
I
don't
know
want
my
to tell
Bible.
them,"
But he ran.
Yeah, I know
He
my Bible very well.
so
and
yeah.
he said, "Oh, he
But
ran."
The Bible also says, like right now, since we are discussing the Bible a little bit, it says where two or three are gathered.
Hmm.
I'm in the midst of it. Like right now, it's two, three of us on this panel
Hmm.
right now talking, and he's in the midst of the
Oh,
talk.
absolutely,
You
Mhm.
know?
absolutely. I
So
agree with that.
so so so
Now I don't.
This is fellowship.
I
There's a
fell out of
difference. This is
right.
we're having fellowship.
I fell out of right. I fell out of Christianity when I was like 55.
Mm,
When the Bible really came alive to me, because I was talking to a Hebrew brother,
mm-hmm,
and it just and then I actually knew exactly where I fitted at in the Bible.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
I discovered my who I was, my nation,
mm-hmm,
who I was, my people was coming off the slave ships and
mm-hmm,
all that. Not that I knock any other nation because I know why we are under these curses. I understand all that because the Bible also says it's going to be a mixed multitude coming into the kingdom. So
Mhm.
therefore, I know to treat all human beings correctly. I'm not on that. I hate the YT man. He's the devil and all kind of stuff. I'm not on that type of teaching.
mm-hmm.
But I am a Hebrew Israelite, and I know those curses in Deuteronomy 15 don't fit nobody but us. I know that when he was talking to the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I know that much. I read it myself. I read the part where the Messiah says, I only came for the lost sheep. And ain't nobody more lost than us since we lost our identity. Okay, our name, our heritage, our culture, we lost everything. I only came to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Mm-hmm. Now I
Okay,
Okay.
can I
and them
can preach
12
on
tribes are
I could preach
lost.
on that. I could preach on that all day. I don't want to go down that path because I get long winded
Yeah,
on that.
we ain't gonna go down
Yeah,
there.
because
We ain't gotta go down there,
I
right?
actually fellowship with some Hebrew brothers, and they be like, man, I how do you know this stuff? And I'm like, it ain't the fact that I know this. I believe the Holy Spirit dwells in me. The Bible says the Holy Spirit will lead us into all truth. So it's basic
That's right.
fundamentals. I narrow everything down to being Christ-like, mind, will, emotion, devotion to
There
God.
you go.
I don't really care for, my inheritance as a and this is what I said to the one brother, and we gotta get back on topic. I don't care if
Okay.
okay, whether I'm a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin or whatever tribe, I leave that to God. You want to know why? Because He said all Israel is going to be saved. Now we don't know to what capacity, because the Bible never says, and we don't know. And then on top of that, we also got to understand that there's a remnant. A lot of
A
us,
remnant.
a lot of
That's
us
right.
already have been tainted. A lot of us
That's
already.
right.
So
A
I
lot
know
of
I got
Israel's
mixed,
not gonna make it.
and I know I'm mixed because my last name Johnson, and Johnson was a slave master name. So I know somewhere in
You see
there
what my
I'm.
last name is, don't you?
Yeah, so we I Johnson is a slave is the top slave master's last name, and I
Yes.
come from a long family of Johnsons, so I already know
Oh,
like
okay.
somewhere I know somewhere my lineage has been tainted. So
Yes.
I have to trust in the lineage in the blood of Christ. You see how that works?
There you go.
So
Yeah, I
that's
see
why I
how it
don't get
works.
that. So that's why I don't get too deep into into that because a lot of us who are scattered, lost the lost tribe of Israel that's scattered abroad. There's there is a pure breed because there the Lord say there there's a remnant, but we just don't know who they are. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why
Right,
I don't get lost in that because we can be
right,
we don't know, we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But when we in Christ, we can know. You see how that
Mm-hmm.
works?
right.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
agree. I agree.
Question.
Yeah,
Question before I drop though. Do you hold Bible studies
I do on my YouTube page.
on your?
Oh,
Okay.
I would like to get
I
one
would
of
like to
that.
join.
Yeah, go.
Me
Yeah, go.
too.
Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube. We live on YouTube right now, but I'm just
Hey, how
live on
much is
here.
your
But yeah, we
subscription?
do. We
How much is your
and
subscription? I'm on a student
yes, we
account.
got we got the Blaze. My brother Sam Lopez. He has the Blaze Bible study. I'm gonna connect y'all connect with me, and I'm gonna hook y'all up with my brother. He has a radio show, Sam Lopez, and he does the Blaze Bible
Is it
study,
an
which is
interactive Bible study?
that again.
Is it an interactive Bible study?
Oh yeah, yup. He does it on Facebook and YouTube where you can ask him questions and
Okay,
all that stuff. Yup.
Okay,
And that's
because
what we do
okay.
there's
So
certain
because
parts of the Bible that I done read the Bible plenty of times, but now that I'm older and then all I had in the hospital was my Bible,
hmm
I'm just like, what in the world?
yeah, so
Okay,
so
because
that,
I
and that's
know
what
I'm
we
not
do
reading
because
it
we know
backwards.
that a lot of times preachers preach at you. We don't want to preach
Yes,
at you. We want to interact with you.
right.
So we
Teach.
interact.
That's
exactly.
right.
Yeah, we
And that's the
interact.
that's the
And,
thing where in Philadelphia, I've been to almost every church here in
oh, you from Philly?
Philadelphia. hmm
I'm from Philly.
I'm
I'm from
I'm in
Southwest. Oh
Southwest near
wow.
the airport.
I'm from Southwest near the airport.
Uh,
I'm from 59th and Warrington, right off of Cobbs Creek.
72nd and Elmwood.
Oh wow. I used to live up there by Elmwood skating ring.
Yeah, it's not a skating ring anymore. It's a daycare.
You serious?
Yeah, they took that down. I think like 20. I'm 33, so it had to be about 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Yeah, it was after Daddy died.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so
I live in Atlanta now. I've been in Atlanta for a while now, but I'm from Southwest Philly. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, but
okay.
look at that.
okay,
Look
so
at that.
Look at God. Look at God doing his best. I'm gonna
small
send you a
world, small
message.
world.
I'm gonna
I
send you a
have some
message.
brothers that I can connect you to. I got some brothers and sisters that I could connect you to in Southwest with some churches that's going to preach you the word because that's all
Are
I'm
they
into is the
are
word.
they
If you
just
my,
preaching
my
or are they doing a bunch of dances and
Nah, it's
songs?
the
Because
word.
I just want
It's
to
the
get
word.
the word.
This is what we stand on. It's not about how much Bible you know. It's about how much Bible you're willing to obey. That's our
There
that's
you
Okay.
our
go.
slogan.
There you go.
So it
Okay.
ain't no.
It's all about
We ain't
obey.
with the when you see my YouTube page, you're gonna see. Oh yeah, Reese. I
No,
don't play
that's
that.
what I want to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
How you
drop
say
and
your
I'm gonna send
YouTube?
you a
So
message.
yeah, I'm gonna drop to So do I put realistic faith like coach in YouTube to find you?
No, no. You actually can go on my bio and you should see my YouTube link on there. It should say YouTube. It should say YouTube in there, and then you just click on that, and then my YouTube page will come right on up. But
Okay.
my YouTube name is Gutter and Saint
Okay. Let me see.
because you gotta be
Uh,
wise
I
as a
should be able
serpent.
to.
Yup, you see. So when you click on my page, you'll see my profile. Right at the bottom left of my bio, you should see YouTube.
I must not be clicking on something right. I'll find it though.
Yeah, yeah. Follow up. And let me know.
Okay.
Let me know. You can just put something in the comments, and I'll respond, and then we can connect like that.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
because
I mean, you don't
I
have to
love
drop
Bible
neither.
study.
I wanted to get to the other half of the conversation, going 50-50. If y'all wanted to chime in on that
Okay.
one. So
All right.
um so yeah. Oh, Will, I see Will in here. Did you wanted to add something, Will?
I did at a moment, but I kind of got caught up in your preaching. So We got to get
Mhm.
back on topic for
Yeah,
me to
yeah. Go
have
ahead.
something to say.
Well, we're gonna start back getting back with you. So let's get back on topic. What did you wanted to add?
Uh, I was just interested in what that young lady said before she got off, and she was just talking about, you know, how we, I forget how she said it. How,
Like
go ahead.
so like far as like going like which one being a full time parent and the responsibilities of a man and the responsibilities of a woman
No,
as a
that
as a collective.
when you guys, no, when you guys were talking about the the tricks that we have been trapped in, and all the different ways that they contorted our minds and putting
Oh,
us in a
okay.
trap and fighting amongst one another. But I
Oh,
was thinking, like,
yeah.
after all these years, yeah, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm listening. After all these years.
Like, after all these years of us gathering this understanding that we've been enslaved not only physically but mentally,
Mm-hmm.
we have so many people who've gathered this information, come up with the conclusion, like, listen, we're fighting amongst ourselves and fighting a fight that really isn't our fight to fight. And instead of coming together
Mm-hmm.
and just not causing more damage to our own culture, it was quite interesting that, like, she was just like, all these traps have been set. But I'm thinking, like, over these years, this has been something that our forefathers and mothers have been saying for years, and yet here we are still having these same fights and discrepancies amongst us. And it's like, you would figure by now that would be getting lesser, but it seems like it's becoming even more.
Well, I could tell you why, and it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse mainly because a lot of brothers and sisters bought into it, and they're not going to change their mind on on a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately, and it's deeply rooted now because now they playing off the emotions of black men and black women who had poor relationships with each other. So you got the sisters who had poor relationships with men. Now they come to the internet and talk their gripe. Then you got men who have poor relationships with women and they get on the internet and talk their gripe, and all it is just adding fuel on the fire. That's why I don't entertain those conversations no more. I say stuff like the sister called me a dusty today. And then he said, then she was like, well, I bet you one of those men who go 50-50. And I said, you daggone right. Now, even though my wife, I am the sole provider of my household, I was just playing around with her. I'm like, yeah, but I still I do believe in a two household income. Two heads is always better than one.
Absolutely.
So yes, $2 is always better than $1. so like I'm all for a two household income. I'm all for it. Going 50-50. If that's what's going to make our house thrive, we're not living in the old days no more where that's all a man had to do and a woman had to do. We living in the days now where both men and women can, contribute to the upbringing of their household and contribute financially.
And it helps out a lot.
Yes,
Cause
it does.
I was the type of woman where, as to I don't judge a man on how deep his pockets run.
Hmm.
It's just that you be careful who you give yourself to, because I was raised that everything goes in one pot, and you distribute things out accordingly the way it go. Because I made $80,000 a year. My husband made 40,
Hmm.
but I don't throw what I make up in his face. Even though I make that 80, I look at that's his 80. I'm
Yep.
going out there, I'm helping. That's his 80. He's going to distribute that money exactly right
Yep.
on where it needs to go and where it needs to be. It ain't mine. Or I'm just going to match your 40 and I get to blow 40,000. No,
Yep.
it don't work
And
like that.
it's crazy now that our kids older, and I encourage my wife to get a part time job, right? and she got she got a part time job and everything, just to get out of the house. And here's the funny, she asks me when does she get paid. I'm like, you don't know when you get paid because she don't think about having the money. She don't think about the money because she all the money pretty. I'm the finance guy, so she trusts that I pay everything. Everything is paid, and all that stuff. And
That's right.
and she got the money that she needs for her to do what she got to do. Our bills are paid. Everything is runs
Mm-hmm.
smoothly. Our household runs smoothly the way the way we have it structured. I think a lot of people get on the
Mm-hmm.
internet and make projections on stuff that they haven't even never experienced because they never had a good man who or a good woman who knew how to budget like that. Because a lot of people say they make all this money, but I'm like, I don't care how much money you make, you still poor if you don't know how to budget.
That's right.
You can have as much money as you. Why you
That's
think a bunch
right.
of these athletes go broke? These actors go broke. I don't care how much money you got, you know. But yeah, go
Yep.
ahead, Will.
And I agree
Hmm.
because even with the money we make, and my husband to tell you real quick, I always told him I don't want no brand new car. Give me a new used car. Give me something with 25,000 miles on it. I'm happy.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I just need something dependable to get me back and forth to work.
Yeah.
I don't mind going to garage sales. I don't mind going to Goodwills. I mean, cause I'm old school, and
Hmm.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
Whatever's gonna save a dollar, and I don't mind. I don't have to have all this name brand stuff out there. My hair done every 2 weeks, and my nails, and no, 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 no. I
Hmm.
work too much in the yard with my nails, trying to plant some stuff. You,
Hmm.
you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that
That,
I mean, and once we could, and I don't know what we can do to get back, especially our
unfortunately,
women.
that
I mean,
train that
you, but
that
you
train done
you
lost its
said
brakes.
earlier,
That train done
but you
lost its
said
brakes.
earlier,
Hmm.
yeah, but you said earlier, men and women. But I'm gonna give 60% of this on the women because a lot of platforms I've been on YouTube, I hear the men telling the women to dress better, quit being so provocative in your dress, and take off some of the makeup, and stuff like that. And they're saying we want more of an old school type woman that's looking more natural than trying to look like a Barbie doll. That's supposed to be the standard of beauty. Be yourself, melanated woman.
Hmm.
And I don't think they're wrong. I don't think they're wrong for telling these women to quit showing all their cleavage, quit wearing shorts so short where your cheek butts are hanging out, and take off the orange and purple hair. And you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And do you think the brothers are wrong for correcting these
I don't
young
think
sisters?
I look at it like this, right? I'm gonna answer your question, but let me answer May with Williams Love. She said a woman was on TikTok and spent 25 years with the man that divorced her and left her homeless. Look, that happens to men more than it happens to women. Because women usually in divorce makes out like a bandit. Now, but we're not gonna go tit for
That's
tat. It happens to men and it happens to women. So let's not turn this into just a woman thing. It happens to both men and women because men usually lose big in a divorce settlement. The
yes,
women take the house, the
yes,
kids, and she get paid alimony
yes,
and spousal support and child support. So that man pretty
yes.
much, you know,
Got to
gets
start
less
all
than ten
over.
percent
You
of
got to
women.
start all over.
Yeah, so a man has to uproot his life and do. But you know what? I don't want to do the comparison thing because at the end of the day, there's no equal number to nothing. There's nobody ever is going to be equal to nothing. Whether it's women more or more men, it doesn't matter. It's happening to both men and women at the end of the day.
We lose.
Yeah, at the
At
end
the
of the
end of the
day,
day, we lose.
but you know what? You know who lose the most? The kids. At the end of the
The
day, the kids
children
lose
lose the
the most.
most.
So it don't even matter about the
Exactly.
woman or the man. The
That's right.
kids
That's right.
lose the most. But
Yep.
but to answer your question, I do believe that on one hand, I hear the dudes, but on the other hand, I leave that conversation alone because at the end of the day, nobody likes nobody to tell them what to do. So trying to tell a woman that you have no proximity to, a woman that you don't even do life with, a woman that you don't even know in real life to tell her how she should dress, I hear them, but then again, I'm like, They ain't gonna listen. And then at the end, and then when unfortunately, when something crazy happened, and it becomes a big topic. Like I saw, the gas station a few weeks ago, and a lady was breastfeeding her. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. Well, she was just breastfeeding a child out pretty much gas station. And I'm like, well, you could at least put a jacket over you. You could put something over you to cover your breast. The same breast you use to feed your kid is the same breast you seduce your husband with, or seduce any man with. So for you to
That's
expect a man not to look at you when you're feeding your child is you shouldn't even think like that.
ludicrous.
You know what I mean? So I you know I don't get into the discussions because at the end of the day, even though I understand what the fellas is trying to say, it, unfortunately, these women want to be able to dress how they want to dress with no consequence. You know what I mean? You can't come outside half naked. It's like this. You can't be in a forest full of lions and tigers and expect them not to act out in their natural habitat. So if you come out dressed provocative, skimpy in a den full of wolves, what you expect to happen?
Exactly.
And should it happen in a perfect world? No, but we don't live in a perfect world. So being as though we don't live in a perfect world, you got to move accordingly. It's just like, all right, I won't walk around with $1 million. I just flashing out because I already know the wolves is out. I won't walk
Right.
around with $1 million. I mean, yeah, I got $1 million. I want to walk. I want to do that because I know. And as soon as something happened to me, the first thing, man, why would you come outside with $1 million? You see what I'm saying? The same thing
Right.
with women. Why would you come
Mm-hmm.
outside dressed like that? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, you shouldn't be. But unfortunately, if it's one of those things.
That's the reason why I say a good woman is hard to find today, like a good man is hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Because you probably do have a lot of good women that is dressing provocatively, but they won't get the good man because of the way they're dressed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a good man wouldn't approach him, and that may be a good woman. And
And
that's the
and
reason why,
and not
that's
to
the reason
say,
why the Bible even says, and somebody wrote it in the comment,
yup,
and that's the reason why the Bible says to dress modestly.
modestly,
If
yup,
you carry, if you carry yourself, and you could be a single woman, if you carry yourself like somebody's wife already, you'll get a husband. If you dress like a girlfriend, you're going to get a boyfriend, and you're going to get ran through constantly. You
yup,
understand what I'm saying?
yup.
So the Bible tells us what to do, but who reads the Bible or believe that anymore?
That's actually that was gonna be my point. A lot of these people don't even believe in the scriptures. A lot of these
Yes.
people. So and then when you talk about the scriptures, they say they don't believe that stuff because it was man made. It was written by man. And
Right.
I say here's
Right.
what's funny. Y'all say the Bible was written by man, but why will man put all those rules on himself?
Exactly.
Why would a man say don't fornicate when men love fornicating?
Yes.
Why would a
Amen.
man tell why would men tell themselves to be dedicated to one wife?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so many thing rules and regulations in the Bible I don't think a mere man will put on himself.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yep. So
I also say, we were talking about the women and the provocativeness and us men wanting, you know, more wholesome women, so forth and so on. Well, I think there's also that level of understanding, because society, internet, that's what it praises. So when you don't have proper teaching and understanding in the household, this is what these kids and young women and young men see, and that's what they gravitate to, and that's where they base their uh, positions on. So I it was kind of crazy because I was watching something on Instagram, and this one interviewer was interviewing this man and this girl, and this girl was saying, I don't understand why men don't respect us women and so forth and so on, and and he was a you could tell he was a street boy, but the thing about it, he says something so profound. He says, this is the problem. He's like, I'm not saying, miss, that you're a bad woman and that you're not a good, wholesome woman. But the problem we have as men looking and seeking that wholesome woman is you women hang out with the hoes. So you take on the role and the perception of these hoes. So we can't differentiate the difference between you two because you dress like them, you talk like
That's right.
them, and you act like them. So that don't
That's
mean you are
right.
them. So it's like this is that's a key thing that there that understanding, like, okay, if you don't want to be treated or looked upon as this, you have to dress yourself up and act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
correct.
if you dress like a hoe, or you dress like a thug, you dress like
That's
a drug
right.
dealer, everybody is first thing is based off perception.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
and you- and brother, you said a mouthful there because I said the same thing. I said you can't tell the 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 good women from the hoes today, the prostitutes. I say
Mm-hmm.
because they're all dressing the same. So
Mm-hmm.
how can a good man tell the difference? Especially they even talk like them with the F-U word and the B word. And back in the day, you was able to tell the difference between the prostitute out on the corner and a woman that was dressed modestly. It was a big difference that you can tell between the two. Today, you can't tell the
You can't.
difference.
You can't. And I think it just boils down to, at the end of the day, um, a lot of women know that men is a that's what they try they trying to get something. They trying to catch when women is trying to catch that type a certain type of man, and the women and the men is trying to catch a certain type of woman, and they know that's what they got to do they that's what they got to do to to make themselves men do it with their money, women do it with their looks, how they present themselves. So
Right, but the men is just looking at them. Actually, is that's just a fun girl for the night.
hmm
So men are just gonna run through her, get what they want. Hopefully, they don't plant a seed, and they're gonna keep right on moving to the next woman.
hmm
And this is what I feel like the women have to wake up to, that they're not taking you seriously. You're gonna give it up to him. He's gonna take it, and he's
oh,
and he's gonna move
absolutely.
on.
I
And
say
he's gonna
that
move
all the
on.
time. I say that all the time. Ladies, if y'all listening, a man ain't gonna turn down no coochie. I'm letting you
That's
know that
right.
now. He's not gonna listen. I hate to be out front like that, but he's not gonna do it. If you
That's
putting
right.
out, he's gonna take it in. That's just the
He
way
gonna
it
take it
goes.
every
That's just the
time.
way
He
it
gonna take it
goes.
every time.
Yep. So we're gonna segue into the whole 50-50 conversation, unless somebody wanna come back and talk about the stay-at-home parenting. I am a proponent of, men going 50-50. Now if you and your lady have an agreement on him paying all the bills and you being a stay-at-home mom, you better know that you can take on that task. You better know, and do it with honors, without no complaining. Here's the fact of the matter. Here's the fact of the matter. You're gonna hate your job. You probably gonna hate being a stay-at-home mom. You hear all the time people say, "Oh, no, I hate working, I hate working, I hate working." But then when you say, "Okay, you could be a stay-at-home parent or be a stay-at-home wife," then you get bored and then you end up cheating on your husband with the pool boy. It's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't win. You can't win. You know what I told my lady? I said, "Listen, we got to save up now, work hard, save up now, because I am not going to be working hard. Well, by the grace of God, I ain't trying to be working hard in my 50s. I'm not going to be that dude out here still trying to get it in my 50s. I want to be automated. I want my stuff to be automated. I want my stuff to be, just riding a wave. I mean, I'm not gonna do
And I agree with you, brother. I'm 66 and I'm still getting down.
that.
Still getting down. I'm gonna retire in 6 months, but
Oh
I'm
wow!
still working, and I don't.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but I don't blame you if you can do it at 55. The earlier you can do it, the better. I do not blame you at all.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Uh, the 50-50 to me is a good thought process to have between the two, because no one ever has that feeling of being lesser than the next. Because I think sometimes, as a man running the show, being the head of the household, paying all the bills. If you have an at-home wife, sometimes we get a little, because we're frustrated from work. We're already tired. We're aggravated. So sometimes we bring that home and we don't show the appreciation if she's doing what she's supposed to do at home.
Hmm.
Like, we got to set that tone first. That if she's doing her part and you're doing your part, like though you're coming home with that weight on your shoulder, you when you walk through that door, you got to throw that backpack out and leave that outside, because now
Hmm.
you in a whole different environment. So you have to allow her to see her importance and her appreciation for what she's doing and handling at home. Because being an at home parent, you know, I remember losing my job because of layoff, and I was home for like 6 months. So I'm playing at home dad. So that ain't no easy job, and
Yep.
especially for a man, because he's out. He's an outside person. Most men aren't sit in the house and clean and and cook dinners and all that stuff. But for me, I was okay with it because, like I said, I'm a military guy, so that I'm pretty self sufficient. So I didn't have no problem cleaning and cooking and taking care of my kids. But I understood that being in that environment with you and a young child, where you have no adult interaction other than on a telephone, because you're taking care of your priorities at home, that's like almost being in a prison cell sometimes.
Hmm.
You get put in a hole, and it's just you in those four walls, and then you have a child that you got to try to figure out when they can't really talk. That's a lot of stress. Like, am I doing the right thing? Why are they crying? Trying to
Hmm.
figure all that stuff out. So you have to understand that. But so if you have that 50-50, and she's out in the work field, you're out in the work field, I think that allows a more level playing field, so no one feels
And the thing
unappreciated.
about it too, a lot of sisters see it was difficult for you because women are natural born nurturers, so they know when the kid is crying, they already know what's wrong with them. Us men, we
Right.
trying to figure it out. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, what you crying for? You see
Fact.
what I'm saying? We trying to figure it out. The sisters already naturally, like, they have that. They natural born nurture is a part of them. That's something in them. That our
Yeah,
baby
that
crying,
intuition is
maybe
huge.
he or she is hungry,
That's
or he
right.
or she need a nap, or he or she the diaper need to be changed, or he or she might got a
And and
fever.
and, and that's the reason. And that's the reason why she was built, actually, to stay at home, especially when they're young, because we're going to figure it out way before the men do. That's
Yep.
how the Most High made us. We
Mm-hmm.
are the first teachers and the nurturers of the children.
Yep.
That's our job. The scripture says if a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. The man is supposed to go out and work. That's
And the
his
Bible says
job.
that a man that don't take care of his family is worse than an infidel.
Thank you.
That is a
So
that is a tough
that
right there.
Yes, so men are supposed to work. It's good for men to work. It's good for women, especially when the children are young, to be at home to nurture that child. She's going to do it 1000% better than a man. We're
I,
built like that.
I agree with that 100%. I would not argue with no woman on that. A woman could take care of a kid better than a man could ever take care of a kid. Um, I won't even dispute that now. It is some statistics out there saying single dads take care of kids better than single moms. I
No,
don't know.
now the man does do a better job once those children get to be 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Now that's when he does a good job because he's going to bring more structure to the house
Mm.
with the do's and the don'ts. Okay, that's the reason why that old saying which used to be, "Wait till your dad get home."
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
because they know dad coming in there. Dad gonna come down in the house and he gonna lay down authority. If
Yeah.
that boy child got out of pocket with her and she felt like she couldn't handle him, wait till your dad get home. He'll handle you.
Yeah.
You know, he brings
I
structure.
remember that
He
all
wants
too well. Wait till
peace.
your dad get home.
Yeah, wait till your dad get home.
I
You
remember
know,
that all
because
too
he,
well. Oh my goodness.
yeah, he
That is
brings
I didn't even
men
think about
bring
that. That is
structure.
true. That is true. You be
Yeah,
shaking
men
in your
bring
boots.
structure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and you
is
scared when dad come through the door. Cause mama gonna tell him, yeah, he jumped up in my
what's up,
face
sister
today, and he
Light
gonna be
Mine?
like, what?
Got a sister Light Mine. She be letting the folk have it on here on TikTok. What's up, Tony?
Yo, Reese, what's good, bro? How you living, man?
Man, you already know, man. I can't call it. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, hey, bro. So on that topic, and I'm glad you're here. I don't know how your beginnings are, but I've been around. You've said you've made a pretty good living for you and your wife working together, and
Absolutely.
a lot of this 50-50 stuff. I think I don't really like it because, man, social media has made it so toxic. I remember growing up, I'm over 40, so I remember growing up and my mom and, my stepfather being around. I didn't, even though, and, as children, we pay attention to everything because we're sponges. I remember her having a full time job and him having one as well, and her not really complaining about rearing us as much, but also they kind of made the oldest one kind of take on a lot of those responsibilities as well. So that may be a little bit of a caveat there, but I think it's what you make of it. I always say that people should just do what works for them. So especially in like, and I'm going back to you. I don't know how you began, but a lot of people like begin at humble beginnings and they
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. It's
grind
been
together.
yeah, man. Shoot, man. I grew up rough. Like and for the most part of my marriage, we struggled. Although my wife and I, we always had good jobs, and then when my wife wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I've always had good jobs. But the difference was we knew how to work together. That's the difference. My wife played her
Right.
role. I played my role. We didn't always have a lot, but I can honestly say that we always lived a very good life. Just for a small period of time, we didn't. For like a year or two, where it was difficult. I mean, I can see two, probably like 3 years. Difficult out of the 28 years we've been together. But for the most part, raising our kids, we did it. We made it do what it do. Um, but
Right. Y'all work together,
we
and
work
that's why I be
together. Yes.
saying. And a lot of people don't want to do that, and it's just this social media thing is so toxic. Because I get it, ladies don't want to build. They say it build a man, but I disagree. But build with a man because the struggle of or it's too hard, and we want the finish line. We're a microwave society, but I get they have apprehensions. But I say, man, do what works for you. I think you're a man, and most men would love to provide, way more than they woman. Most men would love to absolutely take care of things. We just don't have the economy for that anymore. Yesterday, jobs and the economy is gone. Not everyone's going to be six figures. Not everyone's going to own a business because who's going to do the work? So those two things are fantasy. Only 14% of the total population makes over six figures. So I'm not saying that God can't do it, but I'm saying when you're just absolutely looking for that right now, the probability of that happening is very, very, very low. So what you probably most likely have to do in this world today is build with somebody, especially in this economy.
So
And I feel like 7. Mhm.
so it's a couple ways you can do it. I believe from the biblical standpoint, when God made Adam and put Adam in the garden, Adam was all God gave Adam a job, and Adam already was established. When God said, to Adam, man should not be. It's not good that man should be alone. So then he made Eve. I do believe a man should be established. Now, if you do meet a woman that you could build with, and she's willing to build with you, man, that's a blessing. You know what I mean? That is a blessing. But to your best ability, try to be as far as long as you could. Try to get as far. And one of the basic things you can do, and something I always tell men, is at minimum own your own house. At minimum, own your own house. You know, at minimum, at least have something in 401k or some type of profit sharing, or investment. You ain't gotta have. Of course, I understand a lot of people don't make a lot of money, but at minimum, if it's to your best ability and you don't have that much responsibility, like 5, 7 kids that you're paying child support for, and is in your means to start building and establish your own, you should start building and establish your own, starting with at least at minimum owning a piece of property. So that's but then you guys can grow from there. Especially those of us who are in our 40s. If we are in our 40s, we shouldn't be wanting to date a woman at this age to start building with. We should at least have something established, and what she have can be an add-on. It could be what's the word I'm looking for? A bonus. That's what. Yeah, it's a bonus. What she have is a bonus to what you already have. So now when y'all come together and y'all get married, now y'all have more. You see what I'm saying? Now let's say y'all both already own a house. One of y'all sell your house. That's shoot. Depending on the equity you got in the house, that's a quick 100, 200, maybe $300,000. You see what I'm saying? Or both of y'all sell y'all house and y'all buy a house together. Now y'all both done came up at least 2 to 300,000. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I
Or
always
y'all,
tell men be
or what of
established.
y'all rent that house out?
Huh?
Hey,
Oh
brothers,
yeah,
I'm
oh
gonna have
yeah.
to drop.
Also, yeah, you can rent it out instead of selling it. Now y'all both got two rental properties, and now you just created an extra stream of monthly income.
Okay, brothers, I have to drop. My husband's here and it's movie time for us.
All
But
right,
it's been
sis.
nice
I
talking to you.
followed you, and tell the hubby, pop the fist up to the brother, and I'll see you on
Okay.
the next one.
Okay, huh?
All right, see you,
Talk to you
sis.
later.
All right.
All right.
So
Yeah, Reese,
go ahead,
you
brother.
saying I just social media has made it so toxic because a lot of people are you will have couples that are going to struggle and grow together. And I think that even though it may not involve me personally, but just if you guys start, it's just the way you do it. You just can't, like me personally, as a man, I wouldn't want my woman outworking me. So for me, yeah, you want to do some stuff. And I think it comes to them doing stuff in the home and you helping out and you want to kind of relax one because it makes your life to me easier as a man. So if you make her life
So
softer, it
I
makes
like
yours.
what you said right there. I don't want my lady to outwork me neither, right? But I look at it like this. If that's what she want to do, go ahead. I'm not I'm not against a woman working. If she want to work hard, go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to work 15 hours, go ahead. I have no problem with that. Now, somebody might say, "Well, why you don't have no problem with that?" Because it's hard to tell a woman what she can do. Because the more you tell her what she can do, she gonna want to do it all the more. So I say, go ahead. And then when she realize how hard it is, then she ain't gonna want to do it. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I don't want my lady to work that hard either. But you know, unfortunately, we do live in a society that, a lot of sisters want to outshine men. They want to outshine men. I tell my wife all the time. She in the other room. She probably can hear me. I say this all the time. I ain't in competition with you. Like, what we in competition for? Like,
Right.
we supposed to be doing this together. If I'm your competition, then we need to break up because I play dirty. I'm trying to win.
No facts, no comp in the home.
I get like Draymond Green out there. For real.
Uh,
I get like Draymond. I don't play fair. You know what I mean? So if we gonna be in competition, we ain't gonna be on the same team. So you might as well go ahead somewhere else. But if we're gonna do this
Understood.
together, we're gonna bring it in the same pot and we're gonna build and we're gonna structure a life together. Not apart, not your money is your money, your money is our money. And my wife will tell you, like, as much as money I make, I never withhold money. I mean, I do have a structure, but I don't say it's my money. No, it's our money. It's our money. No,
Hmm.
what I make is hers, and what she make is mine, and that's it. But I always tell her, look, if you want to go, you can go spend all you want, but just know this: if the money dry up, I ain't going out here to work as hard as I did before to get it. We'll be out here living in a trailer park. For real, because the
Mhm.
older I get, I am not. I am. I'm not that young no more. And I always tell that. So
Yeah.
like if we want to maintain this life up until we're in our 80s, but God willing, then we have to be good stewards over our resources, which means we can't be out
True.
here buying all this expensive stuff.
True that. True that. I just want to see people, man, just I don't know, man. I like to see like yourself. I like to see marriages flourish and prosper and people push through. And we know finances is one of the biggest reasons why, not the main, but the biggest reasons why. But it's a lot out here. But I say do what works for your family. But as a man, I just know that we prefer to pay more in the home for sure.
Oh yeah, because that's part of who we are. Just like it's in a woman's nature to nurture a child, it's a man's nature to take care of the whole family. Meaning, it's in our mindset. And the sisters, y'all got to understand this about us men. Y'all might not understand it in its totality, which most men don't want to understand women in their whole totality. We won't understand women in their whole. But I need y'all to understand this about men. Men think about the whole picture. We think about the whole. When I grind, I think about the whole picture, wife and children. That's what I think about. I don't I don't. God to take care of me. Remember, this is biblical stuff,
Amen.
man. I know a lot of people don't like the Bible, but this is biblical stuff. When you look at the Bible talks real strict on men taking care of their family, and then men, we get in our head, well, who take care of us? God.
That's
I don't
true.
look. I'm glad my wife does what she does, but God takes care of me, and I'm at peace with that. The reason why a lot of men is that they up and down when it comes to relationships because they looking for their wives to do what God can do. And when I found out that, my wife actually started to do the things that I needed her to do because it was
Hmm.
God who did it. It was God who did it. So only He get the glory. Just look at this. Look at in the scriptures. It talk about the head of Christ is God. The head of man is Christ. The head of woman is her husband, and the head of the children is her mom. So look at the order. The children look up to the mom. The mom look up to the husband. The husband look up to Christ. Christ look up to God.
That's true.
That's the whole order. Once that order is in place, you in perfect harmony with God. perfect harmony. And then that's when the household become blessed.
Yep.
But the
Cause you
problem
said
is, let me tell you what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening. Men took their eyes on Christ and looking down on women. Mm. And if you look at the sisters, the sisters took their eyes off the husband and looking down at the children. The only person that's looking up is children in Christ. Oh man, y'all got me preaching. Y'all got me preaching. I'm telling you. And that's out of order. That's the reason why the relationships are the way they are, because men and women is out of order.
yeah, I
And
was
when
You're
a
gonna
saying
say
you're
man is
not dependent on God to make it
yes,
happen.
yes,
Yeah,
and now
I feel that.
and guess what happens? That messes up the children.
That's
When the
true.
man and the woman is out of order, the children don't know what to look up to. So what they're looking up to is a bunch of mess. And that's the reason why this generation is a mess. We could blame and say, oh, these women don't know how to do this, these men don't know how to do that. The main reason why they don't know how to do it because their parents had the order messed up. But that's the reason why we can. It's in this generation we have the opportunity to change that.
Hmm.
I'm I took my eyes off my wife and put it on Christ. My
That's what's
eyes is
up.
on Christ. Think about Peter. We know Peter. We know Peter had a wife, but his wife ain't never mentioned. And this is how we know Peter had a wife because the scripture says that Christ healed his mother-in-law of a fever. So
Right.
we know he had a wife, but his wife never mentioned. Peter said, "Lord, we gave up everything to follow you." And the Lord said, "Man, you gonna get 100-fold here in this life and the one to come."
In the life to come. Right.
Come on now. And we still didn't hear nothing about Peter's wife or if he had kids or nothing. Because they was taken care of because Peter's eyes was on who? Christ.
And bro, look, and you know Jesus cares about taking care of people because you know as he was down on the cross, well, unalive and on the cross, he
Mm-hmm.
said that behold, he told woman, this is your son, and
So
John, he told this is your mom. So you know he like taking care of folks, even
come
you
on.
know what I'm saying? So,
So now if men would get their eyes off of women and back on God, the women ain't gonna have no choice but to follow suit. Mm. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is next level. This is next level teaching right here. That's the reason why I talk the way I talk. That's the reason why I talk the way I talk. Is everybody gonna get it? No. It's not for everybody didn't get Jesus. But just because everybody don't get it, that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop talking. So that's why I'm
right.
telling men, redirect your attention and get it back on Christ. Once you are in line with Christ, now you in perfect harmony with Christ. Christ is in perfect harmony with God. And then when you find a wife, that wife will be in perfect harmony with you, which is in turn going to be in perfect when y'all have kids. The kids are going to be in perfect harmony with the mom, with the wife. And you leave. I'm preaching to myself. I'm telling you, this for me. This is for me because I'm preaching to myself right now. Because sometimes, even as men of God, we oftentimes get off track, get our eyes off of Christ and onto the worldly things. Matter of fact, another good picture when brother, what was it, John, when he told John to get off, who stepped off the boat? I think it was
That's
Peter again.
Peter.
Yeah, it was Peter again. Pete always doing something. But Pete asked the Lord, said, "Hey man, can I come off the boat?" And all Pete had to do was keep his eyes on Christ. But the moment he took his eyes on Christ, he started to sink. And
That's
Christ
true.
still rescued him, even at the point of him falling in the water. You see what I'm saying? I'm getting texts.
that's a good word right there. Good word. Good word.
Okay. So the problem we having in society now is men got we too focused on what women got going on instead of focusing on what Christ going on. But when that order get back in place, I'm telling you. But like I said, everybody ain't gonna get it because people, "Well, I don't believe in that religious stuff." Okay, the women, the messed up women out here is for the messed up men out here. Let them have each other. But there's some good sisters out here that's looking for a man of God to
Oh,
lead them.
definitely, definitely, definitely.
There is some sisters, and you ain't gonna have to worry about the 50-50 thing. Because at the end of the day, a sister that knows that's a part of the team, and if you happen to go down, she gonna already know where to pick up at. Not think about, oh, he's down. It's time for me to go look for another man.
Right.
That's that's why I believe in 50-50. Now, not to the point where she's straining herself, where she's out there, working her life away. No, I'm talking about like where she's content. She's in a job that she can quit if she need to. Like I tell my wife all the time, we got a thing. I say uckum. I don't cuss. So I say uckum. And she say that I can quit. Go ahead. I don't care. It ain't the money you make is just for you to do what you want to do. You need to do it. It ain't really our household gonna function without your money. You know?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So so like I learned this from a billionaire, a good friend of mine. This is what he said. Reese, he ain't say it the way I'm gonna say it. He said the actual word. He said you need fu money. When you get to that point where you got fu money, you're good. And fu money is not about being a millionaire. It's about living within your means. So the means I live, the level I live on, I have fu money on the level I live on. You see what I'm saying? It depends on your level of your level of living.
Right.
And just doing simple stuff. Just, like I said, go ahead and work on fixing your credit to buy your first piece of property. That's gonna make you feel real good about yourself as a man. You buy your first piece of property. It ain't hard. I mean, it ain't hard, especially if you're a first time home buyer. You get an FHA loan. They give out so many grants. You don't where some in some cases you don't even have to come to the table with no money because all the grants out there. There's a lot of grants for first time home buyers. And you go buy your first you go buy your first home. I mean, and that makes you feel good about yourself. And then once you buy your first home, just like I said, just make small investments. It's not don't think long run. Don't think just you got to make a bunch of money right now. Think long run. Where I'm going to be at in 10 years, and work towards that goal. That's it. Keep your eyes on that goal.
That's true.
Don't think about, and that's the problem with the society now. Everybody, we live in a microwave generation where everybody wants things like this, and
Yeah.
they losing it just as fast as they get it. Well, I'm like that tortoise. I'm walking. I'm walking. I'm like the tortoise. Everybody want to be the rabbit. Everybody want to be the rabbit. Burn themselves out. I'm like the tortoise. I'm gonna get to the finish, and I'm gonna get to the finish line without breaking a sweat.
Slow but steady.
Slow but steady. Exactly. And that's key. I get a little long winded, y'all, man. So
I
I
hear
get
you,
a little
brother.
long winded, man.
I'm just chilling, man. I'm off, so I'm I'm resting up after 40, bro. You just be like, I like to. One of my favorite things to do is to chill back, shoot.
Yeah, man. I'm 43, so look, being at the house
Okay.
is
Yeah,
man.
real talk.
I get to the house and I don't. I always say this. This is my. Once I take my sneakers off, don't ask me to do nothing. Everybody know that in my family. If I keep my sneakers on as long as I need to, but I always tell people once I take my sneakers off, don't ask me to do nothing.
Nah, I feel that. I feel
And y'all
that.
better catch me while I got my sneakers off. The moment it's from my wife and my kid. Everybody knew that. The first thing they look at when they see me, they look at my feet to see if my sneakers on. Because if my
Now
sneakers
I
off,
got
I ain't
them
doing nothing.
trained.
Yup.
It's funny.
Yeah, I ain't doing nothing. My sneakers off. So y'all better make sure, man.
All
Catch
right,
me at
brother.
the door.
We
That's
hop
what's
off
up.
here, but it's been a pleasure.
Oh
I
man, you
love
already
it.
know, Will, like always.
But yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up soon though, because we have to have some conversations.
Oh, absolutely. You can hit me up anytime, man. You already know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, y'all be blessed. Have a great night.
All right, you too,
All
brother.
right, man.
So yeah, sisters, I believe in 50-50. Call me what you want. I believe in 50-50. See, a lot of y'all chicks want your man to make so much. Y'all want him to have 2 or 3 jobs because y'all trying to run him into the grave so y'all can go spend that man. So when he end up dying, y'all go end up spending all his money on the young bucks. So that's what essentially happens. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think that man, if he's working that hard too, like, some of our dads, they did the best they could, but like you said, Reese, though, he doesn't have time to cultivate his home if he gone 16 hours because now he got to sleep, get up, and go. A man also needs time to be in his home and be present, man.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree. At some point, that man has to re-energize. If he's always going, 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 he got to work 12 to 15 hours during the course of the week. Then on the weekend, you got him doing all this stuff around the house. When is that man gonna ever get the time to recharge? And
I just have a
oftentimes that's
small
not even thought
question.
about. What's up, sister?
Hey, brother, I just have a question.
Yes,
What women are you talking to?
I'm just talking in general.
No, no, and
I'm
brother
making
Tony,
general statements. It's not
I
it's not
appreciate
aimed
your
at a
laugh. I
particular.
appreciate your laugh. I'm just want to know who these chicas are because
Oh wow.
I about turned myself inside out into a pretzel in my marriage to the wrong man. It almost cost me my life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
I
understand that.
listen. When we got married, he was in the military. I was more than content to live on an E5 pay. Didn't hurt my feelings none,
Mhm.
not
Okay.
even a little bit.
Mhm.
When I married him, his home life came up. We didn't like become some ballers or nothing, but he ate good because everything that he ate, I made from the ground up. There was no
Oh.
box, nothing in that house. I
Mhm.
made everything from scratch. Everything.
Wow.
I bought him clean food. I cooked every day.
Mm.
He didn't have to worry about, you know, having something, just hamburger helper or
Processed.
whatever for dinner because I cooked.
Mhm.
And the thing of it is that I taught myself how to cook because I was not taught how to cook at home.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to do right by him. When he was deployed, I paid every bill and he came back to money in savings.
Wow.
That's what I did as a wife.
Mhm.
And every
Nice.
single time he came back from a deployment, he would take the finances away from me and run us into the ground.
Oh
Every
man.
single time. He forced me to go to work because he said he couldn't make enough. That's because he couldn't stop spending.
Mm.
I remember a time I came home from work one afternoon. I was exhausted, went into the house, and I had to go back to the door because somebody was knocking on the door. We were living in Germany at the time. There was some kind of bill that he had made that he hadn't paid, and they had tried to contact him. And either because he couldn't read German and didn't give the paperwork to me, or he just ignored it, it had gotten to the point. Let me tell you what they do for collections for you in Germany.
Mm.
They will send the collector to your house.
Oh wow.
They will say, pay this, or the next time we're coming back with the police, we're going to enter your home and we're going to tag some things in your home and we're going to sell them to settle your debt. And that is 100% legal in Germany.
Wow.
Hmm.
I remember coming home on a payday, getting ready to take my stepson, his child, to a basketball game.
Mm.
I went back to the door. Collector was at the door, and this was the second time this had happened to us. I
Uh,
literally came home the afternoon of a payday, had to empty my checking account that night completely, broke for 2 weeks
Wow.
to pay
that
the
sucks.
bill that he refused to pay so they wouldn't come into our house and snatch stuff out from under me and his son.
Wow.
So I want to know, who are these women you talking about?
Mm. So let's clear this up.
After
I,
and after I laid my life out like this and my money out like this man snatched everything from me. He had the nerve to raise a hand to me and give me a concussion the first time he hit me. Who are these women you talking about that want to take the life from their man? Because I don't know them.
So
Hmm.
I want to say this. I want to say this. Every I, I I'm talking in general statements, but I'm also wise enough to know that it is case by case instances where situations like yours is a no brainer. You know, but there is on the other side that there it is a lot of sisters out there on the other side that take advantage of the situation too, just like the men. That your ex husband was he didn't honor his position or honor his role. Obviously,
I will tell you
where you
this.
guys could have
We lived on an infantry base, and when we split, I was working at the credit union, so I knew a lot of single soldiers, and I had them coming up to me at my job offering to bend him for me
wow.
because they knew what kind of wife I was because I wouldn't let anybody. I was married to that man for a dozen years. I never let anybody speak a word against him. Nobody knew what he did to me. But they knew what kind of person I was. So when we split up, they knew it wasn't just because I was some shady chick that was just trying to take a man for what he's worth. And I literally walked away with nothing. I did. I let him keep everything. He abused me, but I let him keep everything, and I walked away.
Now, how is he? I mean, do you know anything about him now? Like, where he at in life, or what's going on with him?
He has spent he we've been divorced now since 2010,
Hmm.
and I have not voluntarily spoken to him. He stalked me a few times, um, uh, and but he got kicked out of Germany. But he would stalk me online after that, and he would call my phone because he still had my number, and I couldn't change my number. He remarried 15 days after we got divorced. That didn't work out. And about 6 months after we got divorced, he started emailing me and trying to call me and saying he was sorry and, he wanted to get back together. But I'm a Christian and I believe in Old Testament bloods and covenants, and you can't walk through the blood of a new covenant to get back to an old one. He had married somebody else. He could never come back to me.
Mm.
See, that's deep word that most people don't know about.
I see, and I see what you're saying on that. I'm not too studied in that. You just ran something new
It
across.
it it it's from it was in the it was in it's back in Deuteronomy where God through Moses was talking about the people about the men who would want to marry a woman. He wasn't
Just
satisfied
leave
with her.
her.
He
Yeah.
divorced her, married somebody else, and God
Hmm.
said you cannot. Once you married somebody else, you cannot walk through the blood of that covenant and go back to the old one that you divorced in the first place because
Yeah, cause
covenants is blood.
yeah, the men were trying to use the women too. What they would do, because that's what a put away practice is they would go find a better wife, quote unquote, and then have her just sitting in the background. And then if he tired of her, and then he want to be like, oh, you know what, Charlotte's been sitting back there. Let me go back and get her. And God's like, no, 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 you ain't about to use the women. You feel what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah,
You
and
just
has
you just learned me
has
something.
been stalking me online for what is it, 13 years now. Every time I have blocked him under I think 12 different identities on Facebook. I have blocked him 3 different times on Instagram. I got rid of my LinkedIn at first because I couldn't get away from him and didn't reopen LinkedIn for 10 years. He's cropped up on my Twitter about 4 or 5 times,
Wow.
and I just keep having to block him over and over and over again. I never respond to a message. I never respond to a DM. I just don't respond
Mm.
ever. And I've been doing that for 13 years now. And every once in a while, he'll find me again because we have old mutual friends. And somebody one time gave him my new address and he wrote me a letter.
Wow.
And I sent it back, return to sender, addressee not known.
Mm. Wow.
I don't
So
play.
I do want to, I do understand because I understand where you're at, and
I'm just
this
saying that the women out here that are like me, you don't hear us on social media because we don't put our business out there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk. The women who respect our men, we don't talk about our men online. If we have to get divorced, it's a situation like this where it's a specific conversation. But in general, I don't get online and rant about my ex-husband. Why?
Mm-hmm.
If he turns his life around, I don't want a whole bunch of stuff out here hanging about how he used to be, less of his present. If he should decide to return to the Lord, turn around and turn to the Lord and get right, he doesn't need his past hanging out there online for somebody new to read about if he turns his life around. So,
that's true. That's true. So
he has,
my
That's true. I like
and
yeah,
he's free to do that.
that's dope. That is dope. But it's but that's I said that right before you come up. There's a there I believe there's more honorable men and women out there than is not. I think we just give too much attention to the ones who aren't so honorable. I think that
Yeah,
Yeah,
social
it
media got a loud voice.
so and I think that the social media has skewed and messed up so many people's thinking when it comes to dating. Now we look at everybody as a suspect. It's something like how like they used to do black people back in the day. When you seen black people, the first thing they did was clutch their pearls and clutch their purse and went across the street. And we like,
yeah,
man, I wasn't gonna do nothing to you. You know what I mean? So it's the same
yeah,
thing with the dating pool. Like the way the dating pool is now, everybody just clutching up, because everybody's too heavily guarded for no reason. Well, I ain't gonna say no reason. And like I said this on one of my posts, we all been hurt in one way, form, or fashion. And nobody's taking the time to heal. Nobody's taking the time to really
Yeah,
understand themselves. And but what's happening is they get hurt and go from one relationship to the next, and they keep that wound. All it's doing is getting worse because they never took time to heal. Now you done got with another person who wounded you the same way, and now the wound done got worse and infected. Now you all infected, and you still looking for relationships infected.
true.
yeah.
So and that's what's happening, man. So.
I have to say in that area that I'm really grateful to the Lord because um I am in a relationship with somebody else, but
Mhm.
the Lord has put us on the slow boat to marriage
Mhm.
because He's not allowing either one of us to take brokenness into the new marriage. He's been working on both of us. And I mean,
Wow.
I can just see it. Now it's not necessarily fun at the time when he's working on me and I come up against something and the Lord says, you know what? That attitude right there, we need to work on that. That's
Yeah,
something we
yeah.
need to talk about right now because that's been coming
Amen.
and it's time for us to handle that because now let's come to the front. Let's handle that before you go into this marriage and put that on this dude because he didn't do that to you.
Mhm.
That's true.
And the Lord is not playing. If people would just take a minute and wait for the Lord's timing,
Mhm.
He will give you the right person, but He will also help you not to wound the other person with your own bleeding.
Wow.
And God will do that,
I do believe.
it's a beautiful thing.
I believe
No,
that.
you right about that.
Wow. You are
You
absolutely
right
right.
about that, Miss Patty. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, host.
No, 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 no. You good, Tom? Go ahead. You got it.
No, I was saying that healing is so important because I got divorced myself back in what was it? Well, it was finalized in last year in 23, but we were separated the whole year. But during that separation, God had put showed me myself, and He did a few things. And I know y'all remember. I know you remember Miss Addie, and you too, Reese, because you study a place in the Bible that was called Kadesh Barnea,
Yep.
somewhere around the desertous time where they were about to cross over.
Mhm.
Yep.
And God had told me that's where you're at. He had placed me because literally, God had moved me and I had no friends and no family around or nothing. And He would not allow me to get a job or nothing. I had a bunch of money saved. I was in this apartment just by myself, nobody in a whole different state, and He just dealt with me, and He made one thing is he and our relationship very solid and real close. He and I got close. He showed me some stuff about myself that was jacked up, and then He healed me. He was a healing process, and she's right. That broken stuff, man, you take that and you take that out on your next person as well. Oh, so and so did this to me, and you may do it subconsciously. You may not even be aware of it, but she's very right. Those
You
toxic
know,
and trauma bonded relationships are horrible for the both of y'all, man. You
and you
need
know
healing.
what?
She's right.
What you just said is the key. Most people don't know their, that they cause an affliction because they've been so accustomed to it that it's
Hmm.
second nature. So when you hear a person, this attitude is part of who I am, they not looking from the outside. I mean, from the inside. They looking from the inside out, not the outside in. So when they say that, they don't know how damaging it is. So
Hmm.
and it's second nature to them. And but unfortunately, we live in a culture where people don't believe in God, or if they do believe in God, they believe in, you know, a higher power, but it never has no true source. Um, yeah, God, man, God is good, man. God dealt with me and my wife through our tough times, and and it was tough.
That's good.
It's tough going through the fire, man. Let me tell you, I always share this story, man. When I tore my rotator cuff and I had to get surgery, when I fell, it hurt. Yes, it was painful. But man, after the surgery, and then I had to go to
That
physical
rehab.
rehab, and I don't take pills.
Hmm.
So man, they man,
I'm with you. I don't like pills either, man.
I was enduring that
Three of
pain, and
us.
I called the doctor one day. I said, "Man, this pain is crazy." He's like, "Man, you don't take that pill," but he said, "But the pain you're feeling is healing pain. It's not like the
Hmm.
Amen.
fish. It's not like you're healing,
Amen.
but it hurts." And I'm like, man. But then eventually, I did give in to. This is a funny story too.
You
So
can
I
stay
took
away from
one of the
those pills
pills one
after
day because I just
surgery, and
couldn't.
that rebound pain laid me out.
Yeah, I'm telling you that healing pain. Oftentimes hurt more than the initial affliction.
Hmm.
So like, man, I remember, man, I took one of the pills one time. And I was like so high and out of it. I like, man, I told my wife, I said, I ain't taking these pills again. I flushed them down the toilet. But man, because I don't like the feeling of being high. I don't like the feeling of being like I can't control myself in that.
That loss of control. Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
Yep.
one thing I do miss about Germany is that they give you pain pills that don't make you high.
Oh wow.
I
Wow.
miss that. The one thing that I do miss about Germany is not their systems, but I miss their medicine. Their medicine is better than ours,
Oh really?
especially for women. Yes, it is better than ours for women. Most definitely. They cut
Wow.
me open twice, and I'm telling you, I healed so well. They cut me open twice on the same line, and both times, I was near death.
So
And
you had
but
C-sections?
no, 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 no.
Oh.
This was I had a rare condition that at first they couldn't even find what was wrong with me. They were cutting me open to release what was in me to save my life.
Mm.
They thought I had some kind of cancer, and it turned out that wasn't it. But because my whole abdomen was distended like I was 8 months pregnant. My bosses thought I was
Man.
pregnant and I had an abortion and come back to work. That wasn't what has happened. I had something
Wow.
toxic inside me, and they were just trying to save my life. But the healing, even though I was really really sick, I mean, they worked with me. And
Mm.
the second time I went down really, really far. I had started to get better really fast, and then I crashed. And they had to take me off of all pain meds, and I didn't even realize I was on pain meds because I wasn't high. But they
Oh
had to take me
wow.
off pain meds because something was wrong in me that wouldn't heal with the pain meds. So they took me
Mm.
off all pain meds, and when that pain came back, that's when I knew that I had been on them because I didn't know. I was never high. And when they took me off it, I knew. I knew because I did not sleep. I cried for 4 days straight. I was in so much pain. But it worked. My doctor was in the background fighting for me because another doctor wanted to just put me back in and cut me open again. And she said,
Oh
no,
heck no.
she's too weak. She won't make it if we cut her again. And my doctor, man, this German doctor, she loved me like I was her own child. She fought for me so hard. And that's what it took to save my life.
Wow.
God
Praise
gave me
God.
an amazing doctor. Gave me a
Amen.
92-year-old nun who prayed me through. I'm
Wow,
telling
praise
you,
God.
God, but that German medicine, they had me on pain meds that I was never high. I was never out of it. It was just smooth. When I went to the dentist in Germany, I'm telling you, I would rather go to dentist in Germany than anywhere else in the world.
Mm.
That these people know what they're doing. These
That's
people
what's
know
up.
what they're doing when it comes to medicine.
They don't want to bring that over here because they know that they'll put a lot of bad
No.
business.
Here's
Yep.
here's the funny
Yep.
thing about Germany. They have socialized medicine, however, comma space. All of the doctors start out in the socialized medicine system, but you have to be the best to earn the right to go into private practice. You have to earn the right to go into private practice. So in order to get a private practice, you have to be exceedingly good.
Mm.
So
Wow.
the county hospitals, they get the okay doctors, but the private doctors, yeah, they're really good. And I mean, and the ones in the county hospitals are trying to get that good so they can go into
Mm.
private practice. So the medicine is generally pretty darn good.
Mm.
I do miss that about Germany. Other than that, I'll stay here in the United States. If
Wow.
I can just find me a
I have a lot of questions,
good
but I don't want to get too
homeopathic
far off the
doctor, I'll be all
topic
right because they do
because
homeopathy in Germany.
I, I, I have a lot of questions on Germany, but I know I'm gonna get off the topic. But
That's all right. Sorry.
but
But no, I do
but
want to be a stay-at-home wife and mom. I do. That's what I've always wanted to do. But I run into guys, and it's not that I won't work. It's just that I am more than content to live within my husband's means so I can take care of the children
hmm
at home. Because this world, what they have with preschool, what's going on out in this world, there's too many opportunities along the
Yeah.
way when your children are outside of your care for a predator
Yep.
to worm their way in and victimize your children and destroy your family. It's just too many opportunities. I not only
Yep.
believe in being a stay-at-home mom, I'm believing homeschooling. I'm not even playing.
So that's where I was going to go to with this whole like even like the 50-50 in the stay at home parent um and cuz to segue both of that in. Do you think a lot of women weigh out the cost of being a stay at home parent, far as like how difficult it's going to be with if you're going to homeschool, take care of the house, when your husband get home, make sure he's taken care of. Because I don't think a lot of people understand, how difficult that can be.
It's only difficult if you are trying to live a 21st century life.
Mm,
Please understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because
On that.
if you want to be a stay-at-home parent wearing name brand labels and having the latest gadgets and doing the latest thing, yeah, you're going to struggle. But if you use the modern tools that we have, I knew people back in the 90s who could get online, and online, it wasn't then what it is now, and
mm-hmm.
find everything that they needed as far as curriculum, find information about how to do everything they need to do at home in a more simple and cost effective way.
That's
They
true.
learned how to be homesteaders online back in the 90s.
So, Miss Addie, let me ask you this then, because I see where you tracking here, and I've asked this before. You a forward thinker, and what you are is a woman who wants to see the best outcome for the children and stuff, and you're looking at their futures, and you also can find your identity by being a wife and a stay-at-home mom. Am I correct?
I find my identity in Christ first.
Right,
Then
right, yeah, of course.
in my I find my identity in Christ and my place in that framework at home.
Okay, nice, nice.
So you're not letting what your ex did stop you from obtaining that goal. Like it's not,
No.
how some people would, or they like, man, I ain't going through that again. I'm not gonna put myself in that position. I gotta take total control, keep control over my life. you not
I prayed for
allowing
my
that
ex-husband
circumstance to
for
keep.
10 of those years. I prayed for my ex-husband consistently for 10 of those years that we were married. I was in rebellion from the Lord when we got married, so that was my mistake. I knew within 6 months that we were in trouble. And I went back to the Lord and I said, Lord, I did this wrong and I messed this up, but I'm going to submit myself to you because that's the only way that there's any chance of redeeming this. And the Lord gave him 10 years to turn it around before the Lord said, he's abusing my child. That's enough. And the Lord took me out of that marriage because it was going to cost me my life at some point. And I was submitted to the Lord. The Lord pulled me out of that marriage because I refused to leave him. I refused to leave him because I didn't feel like that was right. But the Lord pulled me out at a certain point and said, enough. And once the Lord pulled me out, I was just saying, I went away with this assumption that we were just separating for a time and we were going to get back together. The minute the Lord pulled me out, he started looking at other women. And at that point, there was no fixing it because he wouldn't come back. So, okay.
Actually, and doing that, that's where he tore up the covenant.
Yeah, that's where he tore up the covenant. He went.
Sometimes we marry the wrong person. It's
Hilarious.
just what it is.
He had been married before and he went back to his first wife and somehow he thought that was going to work. But it is what it is. He remarried her and that meant that I never had to go back. They divorced again.
Now, Tony, you said something that I want to touch on. You said sometimes we marry the wrong
What's that?
person. You said sometimes we marry the
Yeah.
wrong person. I don't believe that.
No.
I believe we make poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And out of our poor decisions and moment affection and whatever it is we feeling at that time, we pull the trigger on something premature and find ourselves in a situation because the scripture talks about that. Paul touched on if you marry it, if you marry an unbeliever spouse, you should not seek divorce.
But he also said, Reese, if they want to leave, let them.
Yeah. So So if they want to leave, you let them, and you can let them leave. That's you have no that obligation is no longer your obligation. But if that person want to leave with you aside from want to stay with you aside from cheating or leaving you, you we supposed to stay. And I think
Agreed.
now that this is a touchy topic that I try not to touch on because I'm not equipped to talk about it, and I think a lot
Understood.
of that's why I
No, I'm
dance
so glad
around
you
it
married
so I
right the
don't
first time.
say that again.
I'm glad you did it right.
What you mean?
You married right.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
now I can't. But this is the thing. Me and my wife met when we was 15 years old, right? Um, oh, we separated for a little while and got back together. We separated for about 2 years. We
hmm
reconciled, by the grace of God. Um,
Amen.
and we did. I mean, aside from being like physically abusive, we both did some stuff we shouldn't have done. Um,
Sure.
But the Lord,
um,
if people are willing to give the Lord the opportunity to fix it, He'll fix it.
mhm.
Right. And this is why I want to go with Addie, Reese, and I want you to get back to your point is this. I'm a strong person. I believe I don't like divorce. I hate it. All right. I really do. And I did everything I could, prayer, fasting, and everything I could to fix it. And it still did not work. Actually, it got worse, which was a sign to me that God was saying, this is done. I'm not saying I was perfect because I did stuff too. But like Addie, when we turned ourselves to the Lord, if that person ain't changed, I think that to me, and I just believe that in my situation and maybe hers, we just married the wrong person, and you actually married the right person.
I don't know if it was the wrong person or the right person, but let me say this.
Yeah, I can't.
Are y'all aware that in Islam, if a man wants to divorce his wife, all he has to do is to tell her 3 times that he divorces her, correct?
I didn't know that.
Nope, not at
Well,
all.
that is the case in Islam. All he has to do is tell her 3 times that he divorced her. When I was married to my ex-husband, The first time he told me he wanted a divorce, I fasted and prayed. Didn't say a word to him. He changed his mind and came, and we kept going. Second time he told me he wanted to divorce me, I fasted and prayed to the point of passing out. He changed his mind, picked me up off the floor, and said, "We're going to work this out." The third time he told me he wanted to divorce me, I fasted and prayed, and nothing happened to change his mind.
Wow.
Ironic, huh?
Wow.
I
So
actually, I
he was
actually,
the so he was the initiator of the divorce.
he was the one that he initiated the dissolution of the marriage. I had to be the one to file because what he was trying to do was illegal, and it would have come back to haunt me in a dangerous, because he at this point he was dangerous. He was dangerous to my physical well-being as well as my emotional and spiritual well-being. And the way he wanted to divorce me, what he wanted to do was get a Dominican divorce because he wanted it really fast. I didn't know at the time that he had already reconnected with his ex-wife and he wanted a divorce to go back and marry her. I did
What's
not
a
know that.
Dominican?
He
I
wanted
never heard of that. What's a Dominican divorce? I never heard of that.
Dominican divorces are really fast. There's only one requirement. You either have to be a citizen or resident of the Dominican Republic to get one. But they're very, very fast. They're like immediate.
Oh
However,
wow.
comma space, you have to be a resident or a citizen of the DR to get one. They have, however, shady lawyers in Miami who do it for you. And he brought all this paperwork to my job telling me about it, and this is what he wanted to do. I said, "I'm in the middle of my work day. I will look at this and talk to you later." And I made him go away. I took the stuff home and I read about it. And God, I'm telling you, let me tell you how good God is. I don't know nothing. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a researcher. I got online and started trying to find out information about Dominican divorces for myself from my own sources. God led me to case law in the state of New York, where a man had gone to the DR to divorce his wife. Divorce was granted. She said, "You want to be gone? I'm out. We divorced." 4 years after their divorce, she inherited. She inherited something like $1.2 million from a relative. A couple years after that, he found out about it and sued her in New York State court to set aside the divorce because New York is a community property state. Everything has to be split 50-50. By the time the New York State Supreme Court ruled on it, their ruling was, even though the gentleman was the one who initiated the divorce in the DR, because neither he nor her were residents of the DR or citizens, their divorce was null and void. And mind you, this is 10 years after their original divorce. All of that was null and void. So for the past 10 years, they had still been legally married, and she owed him half of her inheritance.
Dang, that
And
sucks.
I didn't have anything for him to come back and take from me, but I believe that the Lord showed me that to show me that if you do this illegal thing, he still has ties on you and he can come back into your life anytime he feels like it.
Mm.
And so what I did was take all that paperwork and put it to the side. And I went and I found me a German. Well, actually, my mom went to Virginia where we had both met and got married, and she paid to actually consult with a lawyer. And a lawyer let her know, your daughter's been living in Germany for 12 years. No lawyer in Virginia will take this case. It doesn't matter that she's still a Virginia resident. She's been gone for over 10 years. We can't represent her in state court. So I found a German lawyer. I filed and we got a divorce in Germany. Got my paperwork in German, paid a translator to get 10 copies, certified copies, translated into English. And I paid for all of it myself. He did not pay a dime. But God made a way. God made a way.
How
And
kind of side
God
note?
granted.
Kind of a side note. How it is living in Germany as a black
Woo! Oh, Lord. Among
woman?
German people, among German people,
Mm-hmm.
German women like to be your friend, and single German men will chase your tongue out of your head.
Mm.
It's difficult for that reason.
Wow.
It's difficult for that reason because German men will take. Now me, I'm not swayed, but if a woman is not of a stronger character, yeah, she can have her head turned by all that attention. But I'm not the one. I'm the other one. So it is what it is.
Wow. Is it like racist like over here in
No,
America? Oh no?
no, because I was a because I'm from the United States. Being a not white woman from the United States, they don't think of you coming over there trying to get citizenship. That's not how they see you. If you coming over there from Africa or one of the poor third world countries and you're a woman of color, they feel like you're trying to get citizenship. You're looking for a man, and they really look down uh, on um, on African men because they
Mm.
feel like they're just trying to get a German girl pregnant so they can stay. That's what they feel like about them.
Oh wow.
I came over as an American. I mean, most Germans thought I had a German dad anyway. They thought I was biracial. Yeah, because of how I look and because I spoke German so well, they thought I was biracial.
Mm.
Especially when my mom came over because my mom's a little bit darker than you. So
Mm.
when my mom came over and people were looking at me and my mom, they're like, "Okay, so your dad's German, right?" I'm like, "No, no, my dad is not German. My dad is from the U.S." So that just, but if you are African specifically, they feel like you're coming over there trying to find a way to stay in Germany. But as an American, Americans are extremely popular in Germany
Mm. I
because
didn't know
right
that.
at this step, a lot of Germans want to come to the States.
Really?
Yeah, around the military installations. I went over to Germany in 1998 when the military installations were still open, and they would have a club on base. And every Friday, the club would be full of German girls trying to catch a man.
Mm.
This is how it was. And then uh, it was. I had been in Germany for 6 months. It was in less than 6 months. In September of 1998, um, there was a double bombing at the U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania in 1998. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I do because I was living there. And that was when they closed the gates on the military bases and the clubs on base went downhill and stopped making money
Mm.
because they started calling them Lima Lima's Losers Lounge because there were no women there. So all that money that was coming into the club on base started flowing into the clubs on the German economy because that was where the guys would go to meet women.
Mm-hmm.
And I was my ex husband was stationed